Chapter 226. No matter how confident he was, he had to face reality. He had no money, no wealth, and a debt of 1,000 credits. He only had 340 credits left, which were not very useful. Fong Ping changed into C-class alloy combat boots, put on the inner armor made from the fur of peak rank for catacombs creatures, and picked up the repaired Feng's widow. At this moment, Fong Ping was feeling sorry for himself in the mirror. I'm handsome. Too bad I don't have money. Maybe it's time to do something big. After muttering to himself for a while, Fong Ping fell into a state of helplessness. He had no wealth, which meant that he was now a newbie who had just entered upper stage rank 3, not a powerful upper stage rank 3 martial artist. He did not have much time to feel sorry for himself. Fong Ping armed himself to the teeth and walked out of the dormitory. Fu Changding, who was walking toward him, saw Fong Ping walking out with his saber and said in shock, "You want to fight President Qin?" Fong Ping was confused. "Fight? President Qin is looking for you. He wants to kill you. Don't you know?" "What?" "You gave him 10% interest, which is 3 times what other people pay. He's so angry, he's about to vomit blood. I just saw him walking around our dormitory with his saber." "Looking for me?" "Maybe." Fong Ping's expression darkened. Did Qin Fengqing know that he had broken through? Was he taking advantage of the fact that he had not broken through to rank to beat him up first? Is he still here? Do you really want to fight him? Fu Changding was shocked. Fong Ping was amazing now. Even Qin Fengqing dared to fight him one-on-one. This fierce person had escaped from a rank 5 powerhouse, killed a rank 4 martial artist, and was ranked 6th on the Martial Arts University rank 3 combat strength ranking. He was truly a fierce person. Even in the national ranking, Qin Fengqing could be ranked top 100 among the 3 lower ranks, maybe even top 50. Back then, Wang Jinyang was only ranked top 30 in the national rank 3 ranking. In other words, Qin Fengqing was not much weaker than Wang Jinyang at the same rank. Martial artists who entered the ranking all had their own characteristics. Fong Ping did not reply. He walked to the staircase and looked down from the corridor window. Fortunately, he was not there. Fong Ping was relieved that he was not there. This was when he was at his strongest, but also his weakest. At this time, with the same HP, he could easily beat up 5 of his previous selves. But because he had 0 wealth and 0 pills, if he met Qin Fengqing now, the probability of him being crippled was as high as 90%, even though that guy was also poor. Fu Changding also poked his head out to take a look, but did not see anyone. He suddenly shouted, "President Qin, are you still there?" "Pa!" Fong Ping stretched out his hand and slapped him on the forehead. He asked impatiently, "What are you doing? Didn't you want to duel with him?" Fu Changding was speechless. "That's not what you meant? Get lost." He couldn't be bothered with this fellow. He just wanted to watch a good show. He had yet to cultivate his battle techniques, and his wealth was empty. Only if he was crazy would he fight Qin Fengqing to the death. "I'm going out for a while. Also, I want to hold a promotion banquet. What do you think? Can each of you give a gift worth a few million?" Fong Ping felt that this kind of promotion banquet was actually a good opportunity to earn money. I just don't know if everyone will buy it. Obviously, the probability of them buying it was extremely low. Fu Changding could not help but laugh. "Giving you a red packet of 3 to 500 is fine. A few million? Are you awake? Also, what kind of promotion banquet is this? You're a rank 3 martial artist. An upper stage rank 3 martial artist isn't considered weak, right?" Fu Changding's expression changed. The corner of his mouth twitched. "Upper stage rank 3? Didn't I say it last time? You're upper stage rank 2, and I'm upper stage rank 3. Now that you've entered upper stage rank 2, I can't fall behind, right?" "You." Fu Changding was completely dumbfounded. "I'm rank 2, and you're rank 3. How could these two be the same? When I was middle stage rank 1, you weren't even a martial artist yet." Now he had just entered upper stage rank 2, and Fong Ping was already an upper stage rank 3 martial artist? Fu Changding was in a daze. He was starting to doubt his life. Fong Ping, on the other hand, knew that he would not give a gift worth a few million. He suddenly lost the mood to hold a banquet. However, when he became a grandmaster, he would definitely hold a big one. Grandmaster banquets really existed. Every time a Grandmaster powerhouse advanced, one more Grandmaster meant one more strategic powerhouse. The government would pay attention to the advancement of such powerhouses, be it from within or outside the government. A Grandmaster banquet was truly spectacular. Unfortunately, the current Fong Ping was not qualified to participate. After leaving Fu Changding behind, Fong Ping went downstairs to investigate. He did not find Qin Fengqing, so he carefully left the school. That fellow was now almost the same as him. He was so poor that he was crazy. Fong Ping still charged him high interest. If it were him, he would also want to fight to the death with someone. We're all poor. Fong Ping lamented as he walked. He was so poor that he could not even afford to drive now. Burning fuel was also a waste of money. Now he could understand why Wang Jinyang had gone around looking for Huang Bin for 500,000. When Fong Ping was at rank 1 and 2, he was not in need of money. 500,000 was nothing to him. Now that he was rank 3, however, he was really in need. 10 minutes later, Prosperity Building. As soon as Fong Ping arrived, the whole place fell silent. Then, a wave of passionate, respectful greetings rang out. Hello, CEO Fong. 96th on the rank 3 ranking list. He had killed a peak rank 3 martial artist. The current Fong Ping was no longer the MCMU rookie from before. No matter how outstanding an MCMU rookie was, he was still a new student. Now, however, Fong Ping, who had killed a peak rank 3 martial artist, was already at the peak of the lower 3 ranks. For ordinary people, rank 1 martial artists were worthy of respect, let alone a rank 3 martial artist. Even in Magic City, middle-ranked martial artists were rare. Fong Ping had seen them a lot. That was because MCMU instructors were middle-ranked martial artists. MCMU was not a grassroots organization. A famous martial arts university was comparable to a provincial administrative organization. In a big city like Nanjiang, how many grandmasters were there? In MCMU, there were 4 grandmasters. If Zhang Dingnan had not broken through last year, the number of grandmasters in Nanjiang province would only be equal to MCMU's. In reality, they were not as good because MCMU had 2 rank 8 grandmaster powerhouses. Fong Ping nodded in response to the employee's reverence. He did not feel too much about it. Back when he was doing missions, some of the local Department of Investigation Services directors would eagerly fawn over him. Fong Ping had long since become indifferent to it. Following the employee's greetings, Li Qingze also left the office. Mr. Fong. Fong Ping nodded slightly and walked over. When he entered the office, Fong Ping asked, "What about the financing?" At the end of May, Li Qingze had called him. The financing was a little more reliable. It was already the 4th of June. Fong Ping was now so poor that he was a little anxious. Li Qingze said, "The situation now is like this. The other party wants to finance our online platform. Offline express delivery, including food and beverage delivery, they are not too willing to finance. They think this model is too wasteful. They suggested that we outsource these instead of setting them up ourselves. Otherwise, not only will it take a long time, but it will also waste money." What's the price? For the platform, they are willing to finance 20 million. After the financing, they will get 30% of the shares. Fong Ping frowned slightly. Actually, this price was not too low. The other party's pre-financing valuation of Distance's food and beverage platform was close to 50 million. It could be said that they were sincere, the kind that was full of sincerity. Fong Ping had invested about 35 million in Distance, but it was mainly used to set up offline distribution channels and express delivery channels. The real construction and promotion of the platform probably cost less than 20 million. However, it had been almost a year since the platform was set up. In Magic City, the platform had accumulated a large number of customers. The other party's price of 50 million was not unreasonably high. Fong Ping lightly knocked on the office table. He said in a low voice, "Now that the 3G smartphones have been launched by manufacturers, our food and beverage application platform can be prepared to go online." Li Qingze nodded and said, "Then about the financing, if they want a financing platform, that's fine. We can split Distance into 3 parts. First, the food and beverage platform. Second, offline express delivery. including regular express delivery and food and beverage delivery. Third, the martial arts university e-commerce platform. As for the food and beverage platform, they want to finance $20 million and get 30% of the shares. Fong Ping thought for a moment and said, "It's a little low." Of course, it doesn't seem low at the moment, but with the advent of the mobile internet era, development will be very fast. Right now, we have already started to develop in other areas. Nanjiang has also started to prepare for expansion. 30 million. I can sell 30% of the shares to them. Li Qingze was stunned. These two concepts were not the same. Selling meant that the 30 million would be Fong Ping's personal money. Financing meant that the money would go into the company. The two could not be equated. Selling 30% of the shares to the other party would cost 30 million. In other words, Fong Ping valued the platform at 100 million. Financing 30 million and the other party getting 30% of the shares meant that the current valuation of the platform was 70 million. Fong Ping simply changed a few words, but the difference was too big. Li Qingze felt that Fong Ping was really asking for an exorbitant price. He had invested less than 20 million in the food and beverage platform. In less than 10 months, Fong Ping had increased it by 5 or 6 times. This was impossible to negotiate. Fong Ping said mildly, "The internet sells the concept, not the actual thing. If you say it's worth 100 million, then it's worth 100 million. If you say it's not worth much, then it's really not worth much. As long as the environment doesn't deteriorate, there are still prospects. At least for now. Although the situation is a little tense, it hasn't deteriorated yet. At the very least, there won't be any problems in 3 to 5 years. In 3 to 5 years, everything is possible. Who can tell what the future will be like? Maybe we'll make a lot of money, maybe we'll make a loss. That's how risky investments are." Li Qingze looked confused. Fong Ping smiled and said, "Pass this on to the other party. They should understand what I mean. Moreover, this is a company that Fong Ping, opened. I've already entered upper stage rank 3. Peak rank 3 is only a matter of time. In the future, if the environment really deteriorates, maybe I've already entered Grandmaster. What's a few tens of millions to invest in a Grandmaster powerhouse in advance? When that time comes, maybe this money will save lives, and it'll be more important than profits." Of course, whether or not they dare to take the risk is also a test for these investors. I need money now. That's why I'm selling the company's shares at a low price. Actually, it also includes a favor from me. No matter what, in my opinion, investing 30 million will not only get 30% of the platform's shares, but also gain my friendship. I think it's worth it. Li Qingze fell into a state of shock again. Upper stage rank 3? Peak? The boss's progress was too fast. Fong Ping ignored him and said with a smile, "Pass these words to the other party. Because they're the first company to invest in our company with such sincerity, I'm using a favor as an excuse. Otherwise, business is business. There's no need to talk about favors. 30 million is nothing to me. If they know me, they should know." Martial artists could earn money at a relatively fast speed. The prerequisite was that they were strong enough. Fong Ping was not only doing this for the 30 million in cash, but also to get the system to confirm the platform's value. If the platform was really valued at 100 million, then the system would very likely increase his wealth by more than 80 million. This was considered a net increase in assets. For Fong Ping at the moment, he was too short of wealth, including the cultivation of combat techniques. Without wealth, it was wishful thinking to expect much progress in a short period of time. Although Li Qingze did not understand many of the words, he still nodded and said, "Okay, I'll pass on your words to the other party. Let them make a decision as soon as possible. I'm in a hurry because I'm short of money recently. If I miss this time, I won't be able to use them when I return with a full load." "You're going out?" "Yes, I'm going on a long trip. It'll be within this month." Li Qingze nodded again and said, "I'll pass on this to them as well. If necessary, let them talk to me." Fong Ping had always been in school. The other party was talking to Li Qingze now. Li Qingze lacked information and understanding about the martial arts world. Sometimes, it was difficult to move the other party with some of his advantages. Fong Ping was different. As an upper stage rank 3 martial artist, he had achieved upper stage rank 3 in less than a year. Now that he was investing in a company, he was also investing in Ping. This was something Li Qingze had not considered at the moment. If the platform was valued at 100 million and the platform was worth 50 million, then the investor Ping would need at least 50 million. Of course, this depended on how the other party considered it. After talking to Li Qingze for a while, Fang Ping reminded him at last, "You must be fast. If you can finish it in one day, don't drag it until the next day. I'm in a hurry." Entering the catacombs would only take half a month and 20 days. He still had to cultivate combat techniques. Time was too tight. During this period, Fang Ping did not even have time to do missions. If he encountered a more troublesome mission, he might not even be able to complete one mission after so many days. At this moment, Fang Ping could only consider financing as his only way out. If he really could not get financing, Fang Ping could only choose to borrow some credits to buy some pills for himself. There was no other way that his combat power would be greatly reduced. "I understand. Contact me immediately if there's any news." Fang Ping did not waste any more time. After giving his instructions, he quickly left the company. When he returned to school, Fang Ping received a message from Zhao Xiumei asking him to hurry to Villa number 8. Fang Ping did not think too much about it. He went straight to Lu Fengru's villa. Chapter 227. Villa number 8. When Fang Ping arrived, it was the first time the villa felt like it could not hold all the people. There were many people there. Zhao Xiumei and Chen Yunxi were there. There were also 3 guys and a girl, all young people that Fang Ping was not familiar with. Lu Fengru leaned on the sofa as if she was taking a nap. As soon as Fang Ping entered, Lu Fengru said lightly without opening her eyes, "You're here. Let's get to know each other." After Lu Fengru said that, the 3 guys and the girl looked at Fang Ping. Yi Qing, junior in the School of Weaponry, upper stage rank 3. Liang Fenghua, junior in the School of Weaponry, peak rank 3. Liang Huabao, sophomore in the School of Weaponry. Liang Fenghua is my brother, middle stage rank 3. Lu Mingyao, junior in the School of Production, middle stage rank 3. The 3 guys and the girl introduced themselves. Yi Qing's expression was cold, and his hair stood straight up. One look, and you could tell that he was not a kind person. In Fang Ping's impression, people with this kind of hairstyle were the typical troublemakers. The Liang brothers looked more honest. Both of them had entered MCMAU. One was peak rank 3, the other was middle stage rank 3. They were not weak either. As for Lu Mingyao, she looked much gentler. Perhaps it was because she was from the School of Production, but she was not as fierce as some of the girls from the School of Weaponry. Fang Ping quickly said, "Fang Ping, freshman, upper stage rank 3. Everyone took a few more glances at him, including Zhao Xiumei and Chen Yunxi. Fang Ping had actually entered upper stage rank 3. Junior is really amazing. Before Liang Fenghua could finish his compliment, Lu Fengru interrupted, "It's good that you know each other. You're all my students in the past few years. Including Fang Ping, Xiumei, and Yunxi, I've taken in 15 students in the past few years." Fang Ping knew about this. Lu Fengru had mentioned it before. However, in the past year, Fang Ping had not seen his senior brothers and sisters. Lu Fengru continued, "Out of the 15, 6 are dead." Fang Ping's pupils contracted. If you remember correctly, Lu Fengru had said that 4 had died during the freshman year. 1 rank 4 and 3 rank 3. In less than a year, 2 more had died? Lu Fengru said calmly, "The other 2 are disabled now. They gone home to retire. You 7 are my students now." "Teacher." Lu Mingyao's eyes suddenly turned red. She choked and said, "Senior brother Zhang and the others." Lu Fengru said tiredly, "I've said it before. If you're injured, don't go to the catacombs anymore." If he didn't listen, now that 70% of his bones were broken and he was sitting in a wheelchair, he could retire at home. Today, I asked all of you to come together to tell you that enough has died. Over the past 4 years, I've accepted 15 students, and the rest are less than half. I won't accept any more students next semester, and I might not accept any more in the future. In the short span of 4 years, her students had died one after another. Among all the instructors, her students had died the most. Lu Fengru reached out and massaged her temples. She looked at Yi Qing and said, "You went on a mission with Zhang Longshan. Do you think there's something fishy about it?" Yi Qing frowned slightly. After a while, he shook his head and said, "I don't think so. We were a little unlucky. We encountered a small team of scouts led by a middle-stage rank for martial artist. Senior Chun died in battle, and Senior Zhang was heavily injured. I was separated from the other two. In the end, Senior Zhang escaped and came back, but he could no longer cultivate," Lu Fengru said tiredly. "Are you all too radical? Or is someone plotting against me?" One after another, they died. Everyone was speechless. Lu Fengru sighed. Suddenly, she looked at Fong Ping and the others and said, "The few of you are entering the catacombs for the first time. I'm afraid it'll be quite dangerous. Fong Ping, you're smart. Pay attention and don't die. Also, observe more. Whether it's an accident or someone is targeting me." Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat. He quickly said, "Instructor, it can't be, right?" Lu Fengru said lightly, "Who knows? I've offended a lot of people these years. Back then, there were some unforeseen events, and I did a lot of things. Everyone didn't seem to care, but who knows what they were thinking? Also, some people were worried that I, Lu Fengru, would cause big trouble when I broke through to Grandmaster and implicate humanity. What a great sin. Letting my students die might be a blow to me. If I can't break through to Grandmaster, naturally, I won't be able to implicate humanity. Using the lives of a few rank 3 martial artists in exchange for the future of humanity. Tell me, is this moral high ground high enough? Therefore, be clear-headed. I won't kill you on the surface, but no one knows what's going on behind the scenes. Also, are evil sect martial artists really evil sect members? Do other worlds have them? We've been at war with the catacombs for many years. Although we don't speak the same language, after years of research, we can generally guess what everyone is trying to say. It's not impossible that some people are spies for the catacombs. I have many geniuses among my students. The death of one genius is more worthwhile than the death of 10 mediocre people. All in all, there are all kinds of possibilities. Grow some brains and think before you do anything. There are 7 people. How many more do you want to die?" Lu Fengru exhaled softly and continued, "Remember, when you enter the catacombs, don't trust anyone easily. That's a world without laws. At least for us humans, other than the stronghold, there are no laws anywhere else. With a big enemy like the catacombs, humans can't afford internal strife. But that's only limited to the big picture. If a martial artist dies in the catacombs, who knows how he died? I don't like to think of others with malicious thoughts, but I can't help but think that too many people have died in these years. Especially on my side, more and more people are dying." Fong Ping and the others fell silent. "I'm just reminding you, don't let more people die. Fenghua, don't go to the catacombs for now. Get ready to break through to rank 4. When you graduate, go to the government and don't go to the military department. Hua Bao and Ming Yao, get ready to break through to upper stage rank 3. Yi Qing, get to peak rank 3 as soon as possible. The situation is unstable recently, so don't go to the catacombs. As for Fong Ping, the 3 of you haven't gone in even once. It's a must to go, but remember this, there's only a future if you're alive." Lu Fengru said in a low voice, "In school, the other instructors will tell you that you have to fight, or be afraid to fight, or avoid it. When you go to the catacombs, the military department will tell you that you'd rather die standing than live kneeling. However, remember what I said, those who die are idiots. Even if you know you can't win, don't try to be hot-blooded. I'm not worried about Fong Ping. Xiumei, both of you remember, when you enter the catacombs, you must follow Fong Ping. Don't tell me that you won't retreat until you die. When Fong Ping runs, you must run faster than him." Fong Ping was speechless. Was old Lu complimenting him or insulting him? When did I ever run? Back then, I was also a middle-stage rank 3 who fought against a peak martial artist. I was so brave that I was a mess. How did I become the Fong Ping that you're talking about?" Zhao Xiumei and Chen Yunxi looked at each other. Lu Fengru did not care about this. She looked at Fong Ping and said, I don't care about the others. Humans are selfish. If they die, so be it. Remember to bring your fellow disciples back in one piece. If you can abandon your sect, then you're not wise. You're just a hypocrite. Remember what I said. Of course, if you encounter a life-threatening crisis, escape as many as you can. Act according to the circumstances. Fong Ping nodded solemnly. Instructor, I haven't reached that point yet. Lu Fengru continued to rub her forehead. After a while, she said, the rest of you can go back first. Work hard on your cultivation. Fong Ping, stay for a while. The others didn't delay either. They said their goodbyes and left on their own. After they left, Lu Fengru leaned on the sofa. After thinking for a while, she said, the time to enter the catacombs this time has been confirmed. We'll officially enter on the 20th of June. Tang Feng will lead the team. Fong Ping heard that and said immediately, Instructor Tang isn't your enemy, is he? Lu Fengru rolled her eyes and said exasperatedly, Lion Tang, how do I say this? His IQ might not be high, but his character is not bad. He'll lead the team. He won't purposely target anyone or kill anyone. Do you understand? Understood. Fong Ping breathed a sigh of relief. If Lu Fengru said that, it meant that Big Lion was quite reliable. Lu Fengru continued, Lion Tang will lead the team. He has the strength of a peak rank 6. Your safety is still guaranteed. Unless it's absolutely necessary, don't ever separate from him. If you really encounter a crisis, find a way to contact my father in the catacombs. Of course, the possibility is very low. The catacombs are huge. I don't know where he is. Moreover, the catacombs are very dangerous. Is he still alive? Lu Fengru shook her head slightly. Her father had entered the catacombs and had not been heard from for more than a year. She had seen him once at the beginning of last year. After that, there was no news of him. Lu Fengru really did not know whether he was dead or alive. Although she was not too sure, Lu Fengru still threw a pocket watch to Fong Ping. This was left behind by my father. It has his photo. If you meet him, you can ask for help. If you don't force it. Fong Ping received the pocket watch solemnly. This was a keepsake of a peak rank 7 Grandmaster. You might be able to meet him and get some benefits out of it. Also, remember, you just have to protect Xiumei. As for Chun Yunxi, if you encounter any trouble, you can run with her. She's the only girl in the 3rd generation of the Chen family. Old Man Chen has 6 or 7 grandsons and only 1 granddaughter. He should have made some arrangements. Running with her is safer than following others. When I asked you to protect her earlier, I was actually telling you that her chances of survival are higher than yours. Understood? Fong Ping agreed readily. If he really encountered trouble, he had a backup plan. Lu Fengru thought for a while. Finally, she said, watch out for the few grandmasters in MCMAU. Other than the old vice-chancellor, watch out for everyone else. Fong Ping was completely dumbfounded. What did she mean? Lu Fengru said lightly, the few high grandmasters in MCMAU, including Wu Quishan, firmly believe that the country is the most important. Humanity comes first. Everything else comes second. Do you understand what I mean? Not really. Idiot. Lu Fengru scolded. She frowned and said, for the big picture, they can sacrifice a part of themselves. You fall into this category. Your matter is unclear. Who knows what they think? Of course, the possibility is not high. After all, you're an MCMEU student. Your mentality is not weak. There's a chance that you'll become a grandmaster. For the big picture, they'll choose to protect you. But that's not what I'm worried about. It's, Fong Ping said hurriedly. What are you worried about? Lu Fengru's eyes flickered. After a while, she said, for the sake of humanity and the big picture, it's best that I, Lu Fengru, don't become a grandmaster. Becoming a grandmaster requires the unity of essence, spirit, and soul. If a few more of my students die, I might be affected. My essence, spirit, and soul will never be full. Naturally, I won't be able to break through. These are my own guesses. But it's not impossible. In short, you just have to be careful. Even if they want to block my path of breakthrough for the so-called big picture, they won't attack anyone on purpose. However, it's still possible that they'll leave me in the lurch. Or they might just arrange some difficult missions for me. Fong Ping was stunned. What did she mean? In order to prevent Lu Fengru from breaking through, these grandmasters might watch her students die on purpose. They would not go to that extent, would they? From Fong Ping's perspective, whether it was Huang Jing or Wu Quishan, of course, he was not familiar with these people. Fong Ping only felt that these grandmasters were also fighting hard for humanity. They were the vanguard on the battlefield, protecting their home and country. They were riddled with scars. Could these people really do such a thing? Lu Fengru said tiredly. It's enough that you have some idea. It's hard to explain. After all, if I break through, I'll definitely go to the catacombs. If I don't die, someone else will. If I die, the loss isn't great. What if the other party dies? If a rank 9 powerhouse, the lord of a city, dies, I'm afraid the Great War will not be far away. Lives will be plunged into misery and suffering? Maybe, but there are some things that I have to do even if I know. I'm not as righteous as them. I don't care about what happens to all of humanity. I only know that if there's a grudge, I have to take revenge. In short, this is the situation. If you meet these old fellows in the catacombs, don't try to get close to them. Grandmasters are inhuman. Who knows if they still have humanity? Including my father. Who knows what he's thinking? Maybe when I become a grandmaster, then I'll understand. Remember, your life is your own. I've warned you so much. If you still die, don't blame me. Fong Ping put on a long face and said, I wasn't too afraid at first. After what you said, teacher, I'm a little scared now. I feel like there are enemies everywhere. Everyone wants my life. That's right. Teacher, do you have anything that can save your life? For example, a scroll that seals your one-hit power, a single-use weapon that can explode the power of a grandmaster. Like, Lu Fengru looked at him as if she was looking at an idiot. After a long time, she said, I want them too. If you really have them, can you give me some? You have those pills, right? Why don't you give me some? Give me 3 to 500 resurrection pills. Lu Fengru sneered and said lazily, I don't have any resurrection pills, but I do have something good for you. After saying that, Lu Fengru took out a bottle from the drawer and threw it to Fong Ping. Vitality Explosion Pill, for you. Vitality Explosion Pill? This was the first time Fong Ping had seen a Vitality Explosion Pill. It doesn't have much effect. The only thing it can do is make your vitality boil. No burn. Burning your vitality can make you more powerful. I think I've seen the effect of this pill on TV before. TV shows are based on reality. After consuming a Vitality Explosion Pill, no matter how much vitality you have, you'll be waiting for death if you can't kill your enemy. Of course, you might not, so I'm giving it to you. If you really meet a rank 4 or 5 martial artist, you can try it. You won't die even if your vitality is burned up. Can you recover? As she said that, Lu Fengru seemed to remember something and added, the Vitality Explosion Pill burns up all your vitality in one go. If you can't replenish your vitality in time, you'll die. Do you still want it? A fatal pill? Fong Ping mumbled. The meaning of her words was too clear. If his vitality was burned up in one go, he would become a dried corpse even if the enemy did not die. It's not certain death. After killing the enemy, stopping the vitality outburst, and eating more vitality pills, you might not die, but your vitality will definitely be greatly damaged. Lu Fengru said irresponsibly, then continued, 3 pills. If you don't die after eating them, you can prepare more for yourself in the future. Fong Ping smiled and said, Instructor, give me more. Others will die after eating them anyway. This thing was good. Lu Fengru gave him 3 pills, and his wealth increased by 5 million in an instant. What did this mean? This meant that the Vitality Explosion Pill could be sold for more than 2 million each. Lu Fengru humphed and ignored him. This thing was not a mainstream pill, so it was rare. How could there be so many of them? Most people would not buy them, and pill companies would not purposely make them. The military did make some, and these few pills she had were also obtained from the military. Cut the crap. From tomorrow onwards, cultivate combat techniques with me. Get out now. Instructor, get out. Chapter 228. From the 5th of June onwards, Fong Ping started cultivating combat techniques. Zhang Dingnan had given him an improved version of manic explosion. Fong Ping started to reorganize and cultivate it again. The old version of manic explosion sounded awesome, but in reality, it was just average among middle-rank combat techniques. Activating a big move was the 7 consecutive slashes. This was a cycle, and the 7 consecutive slashes were all in an evenly explosive state. Simply put, manic explosion pursued uniform outbursts. 7 consecutive slashes were equal in power, and only when all 7 slashes were combined would it be considered an ultimate move. But after the revision, manic explosion was different. Overlaying outbursts. After Zhang Dingnan entered the Grandmaster realm, he had more ideas and studied martial arts more deeply. It was still 7 outbursts, but the vitality outbursts were overlaying. The first slash was 30 calories, the second 40 calories, and the 7th was even stronger. 7 consecutive slashes, each stronger than the last. 7 consecutive slashes would increase in sequence, outbursting beyond one's usual limit. If it was a single move, Fong Ping might only have a vitality outburst of 100 calories, but if he cultivated according to manic explosion, he might be able to outburst 150 calories by the 7th slash. Cultivating combat techniques consumed a lot of energy. Combat techniques were not theoretical cultivation methods. They needed to be practiced. No matter how good one's theory was, if one did not slash, how could it be called combat techniques? Every time he cultivated, Fong Ping's vitality would be greatly consumed. At his level, his vitality recovered very quickly, unlike rank 1 and 2, whose vitality was depleted and his body recovered very slowly. At upper stage rank 3, Fong Ping might be able to generate 10 calories vitality to replenish at the next moment when he used up 100 calories. Even so, Fong Ping still consumed a lot of wealth. The 5 million wealth that Lu Fengru gave him was being consumed at the rate of 500,000 a day. It sounded like a lot, but in reality, it was only enough to replenish 500 calories vitality. However, with 500 calories replenishment and his body's recovery, Fong Ping's daily cultivation time was not short. When he cultivated, he did not have to use vitality outbursts for every move. Only when he encountered something he did not understand would he use his vitality to train. Other than manic explosion, Fong Ping also started to work hard on the cultivation of Cloud Step. He was not afraid of not being able to beat them, but he had to be able to run. Upper stage rank 3 martial artists were almost all elevated pole standing. At this point, Fong Ping's speed advantage was not that great. Others could even step into the air. Therefore, only by practicing footwork to a high degree could one run faster than others. Other than these 2 combat techniques, Lu Fengru also recommended Fong Ping to learn a middle-rank combat technique, blood arrow method. By the haven, Lu Fengru said softly, "This is a battle technique that I created. I won't let anyone else learn it." Fong Ping read the combat technique's introduction for a while. This was a combat technique that truly put one's life on the line, condensing one's blood essence and spurting an arrow of blood. "Teacher, that looks familiar." Fong Ping mumbled. This cultivation method looked really familiar. Lu Fengru said disapprovingly, "It's fine as long as it's useful." Many martial artists like to hold blood in their mouths when they're injured and spit at their enemies to disrupt their vision. Xuemei did it during the championship. However, that kind of blood arrow would not have any effect if it was just a little more careful. The blood arrow method was different. It was a special way of using vitality and could only be cultivated by martial artists above upper stage rank 3, because the key was to separate the qi and blood from the body. Martial artists below upper stage rank 3 could not do this. Their vitality was in a restrained state. Martial artists above upper stage rank 3 could barely do it. At this time, one could use a special vitality condensation method to let vitality leave the body and truly use vitality as a weapon to hurt the enemy. Fong Ping sighed. This combat technique is a little sinister, too sinister. Spitting blood and spurting out blood arrows were definitely lethal. If this was treated as a normal spitting blood sneak attack, Would he not die from a sneak attack? How did his teacher think of creating such a method? Lu Fengru said lightly, "Do you want to learn it or not?" "Learn it." Fong Ping's answer was straightforward. What a joke. Of course, he wanted to learn such a powerful combat technique. When he was fighting with others, slashing and slashing with his saber, sometimes he would encounter a wrestling situation where his limbs could not be free. At this time, he suddenly spat out a mouthful of old blood. It pierced through the other party's head directly. It was too useful. Under normal circumstances, everyone would focus on defending the head because it was the weakness of those below high ranks. It was the biggest weakness. However, they would only defend against your limbs. Who would defend against your mouth? Therefore, during a fight, it was very difficult to attack the opponent's head. Everyone would defend with all their might. If it was a surprise attack, it would be easy. Blood arrows would pierce through the head directly. Fong Ping felt that this combat technique was simply a blessing for mankind. Lu Fengru's creation of this combat technique was practically tailor-made for him. Lu Fengru smiled faintly. Actually, many people have thought of this combat technique, but none of them have created it. Do you know why? It was not that no one had thought of this kind of sneak attack after so many years. The key was that it could not be created. Even if it was created, its power would be limited. Fong Ping shook his head. Because the vitality force ejection needs to be accumulated through the internal organs and throat. Everyone can cultivate the internal organs, but the throat is not the direction of everyone's cultivation. Fong Ping's eyes suddenly lit up. The throat is actually a weakness of many martial artists. Other than the cervical vertebrae, there are no fixed bones on the front of the throat for everyone to hone. Even if we use body honing to train and forge the body of Vajra, the throat is indeed not as strong as other parts of the body. The key of my blood arrow method is not the blood arrows, but the honing of the laryngeal cartilage. There are a total of 9 pieces of laryngeal cartilage, including thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, and epiglottic cartilage. It is not that others have not considered using vitality to hone, but when vitality and blood flow through the throat, vitality will be weakened because the skull has not been honed. Why do rank 8 grandmasters say that they have achieved full mastery of the indestructible body? This is because after they have honed all the bones in their body, including these cartilages, they will be honed and truly become an indestructible body of Vajra. In the eyes of grandmasters, the blood arrow method is dispensable and there is no need to learn it. However, for middle and lower rank martial artists, the blood arrow method's method of honing the laryngeal cartilage is also a very unique method in the martial arts world. This was also Lu Fengru's exclusive secret technique. Powerhouses all had their own exclusive secret techniques like manic explosion that were not very useful to everyone. Everyone would publicize it and reveal it to the public. However, techniques like the blood arrow method were rarely publicized to the public. They were all secret techniques. Unless Lu Fengru became a grandmaster, then she might share it with others. Otherwise, this would be her trump card. Hearing this, Fong Ping was slightly surprised. Instructor, have the other seniors learned it as well? Lu Fengru said carelessly, their vitality is not strong enough, so it's useless even if they learn it. Your vitality is strong, so you can multitask. On one hand, you can attack the enemy head-on, and on the other, you can mobilize your vitality to perform the blood arrow method. This is the purpose of teaching you. Remember, don't leak it. Understood. Then I will teach you how to hone the laryngeal cartilage now. It is not difficult to hone the laryngeal cartilage, and it is very fast. After the honing is done, you will have learned most of the blood arrow method. In the next few days, Fong Ping only learned the 3 major combat techniques. Manic explosion, a saber technique for direct confrontation. Blood arrow method, a secret technique for sneak attacks. Cloud step, a must-have for running. No, a must-have for chasing the enemy. Cultivating the 3 major middle-rank techniques made Fong Ping give up on the idea of continuing to study puncture kick. This low-ranked combat technique could no longer keep up with the pace. It was still purely focused on physical damage. Middle-ranked combat techniques, on the other hand, already involved many uses of vitality force. A week later, Fong Ping, who had learned the three major techniques, began to run out of wealth. Fong Ping was anxious and irritated. Without wealth, his vitality could not recover. He did not like to take pills to recover. Not only was it slow, but he did not even know if the pills were made from the catacombs' human body tissues. It was better to eat less of them. Just as Fong Ping's wealth was about to run out, Li Qing's message came. Mr. Fong, the other party has agreed. Li Qing's seemed a little excited. 30 million to buy 30% of Distance Food and Beverage Platform shares was something he could not have imagined before. This meant that in the other party's eyes, Distance Food and Beverage Platform was worth as much as 100 million. In reality, how much was the investment? Recently, Li Qingze had dissected the three projects that Fong Ping had mentioned and sorted out the financial situation. In the end, he calculated that the investment in the platform, including the publicity expenses, had only cost him 17 million. In less than a year, a price of 100 million was something that he had not expected at all. Fong Ping was also slightly surprised. He held his phone and asked, "What did the other parties say?" "They said that you have a bright future, Mr. Fong. Investing in Distance is also investing in you. I passed on your words. The other party's person in charge thinks that you may bring them greater returns in the future. They are investing in the future, not the present." In short, what they mean is that they hope to have a good foundation for cooperation with Distance, including MCMEU's e-commerce platform. They said that all the schools are watching it and waiting for the results. If it is operated well, maybe soon all the martial arts schools will try it out. Distance is the first company to promote the e-commerce model to martial arts universities. This is also a manifestation of strength and ability. If there is a chance in the future, the other party hopes to have more cooperation with us. For example, the martial arts e-commerce platform system. Fong Ping frowned. "We'll talk about this later. This is not something that I can decide alone." MCMU's platform was not something that Fong Ping could decide alone. At the very least, he had to get MCMU's approval. Other than that, the other martial arts universities were also paying attention. This gave Fong Ping a headache. Was this not stealing his opportunity? Right now, his strength was still a little low. He had to think of a way to promote it in other schools. Maybe after returning from the catacombs, he could talk to Old Wang. If Old Wang, who controlled half of NMAU, was willing to let Distance enter NMAU, then things would be much easier. An independent platform was not as useful as a common platform. 99 martial arts universities shared a platform. As the first one, the probability of Distance fighting for this opportunity was not small. The premise was that Fong Ping himself had a certain say. When will the contract be signed? They said anytime, but they hope that you can be the one to sign it. No problem. Fong Ping agreed quickly. He said immediately, "Today is the 13th. The contract will be officially signed on the 15th. Okay, then I'll inform them." Li Qingze was overjoyed. Distance Food and Beverages' high valuation was due to Fong Ping, but it also showed that the platform was operating well. This was also an affirmation of him. For the past year, he had only seen the accounts but not the income. He had been anxious, but now there were finally results. Selling 30% of the shares, Fong Ping sighed softly. It was the first time he sold so much. It would not be easy to sell more in the future. "I wonder if there will be an increase in wealth after signing the contract? I've invested 17 million. According to my current pricing, it should increase by 83 million. But will there really be an increase in wealth?" This was the first time Fong Ping had encountered something like this. He was not very calm. If it did not work, then it would be troublesome. It should work. There's no reason why it can't work. Do my company's net worth have to reach that high? Then what's the use of a listed company's share price, no matter how high it is? Fong Ping was anxious, but he could only comfort himself. Although he did not put too much effort into the company, he had always been working with great expectations. If he did not succeed this time, Fong Ping would vomit blood. Although he was anxious, Fong Ping still did not stop cultivating combat techniques. June 14th, Fong Ping's 10th day of specializing in combat techniques. As Fong Ping vomited blood, a tiny hole appeared in the blue stone on the ground. Lu Fengru frowned slightly. Fong Ping said helplessly, "Instructor, I vomited so much blood. I'll die. He was vomiting blood every day. He felt that he might be anemic now. Lu Fengru snorted coldly. Stop talking nonsense. The power is still too weak. Even if the skull isn't honed, it's still extremely hard. Your power might be able to injure others, but it can't really pierce through their skull, unless you can accurately hit the opponent's weak points like the eyes every time. But during a battle, you might not have a chance to do so. This is a combat technique, not just a secret skill. The blood arrow method also has a vitality outburst requirement. To pierce through a person's skull, an outburst of at least 30 calories vitality is required, Fong Ping said in distress. But my throat can't withstand such a high-intensity vitality outburst. I'll hurt myself easily. At most, I'll be a mute for a while. What's there to be afraid of? Fong Ping felt helpless. He might as well change the name of the blood arrow method to the Seven Injures Fist. Hurting others would hurt himself. He did not want to vomit blood to death one day, or become a mute. Lu Fengru's lack of energy all day long was related to vomiting too much blood? Now, Fong Ping had serious doubts. Continue cultivating the blood arrow method. You can't delay the other two combat techniques either. Your manic explosion can only be stacked up to the fourth saber. When you unleash 50, 70, 90, and 110 vitality respectively, you'll only have 320 calories vitality after stacking up. Logically speaking, it's almost at the level of an ultimate move. However, this stacking is slightly weaker than a single 320 calories vitality outburst, so it's only comparable to the power of an ultimate move. Of course, this also reduces the difficulty of mastering combat techniques. Now, your pure vitality outburst is less than 150 calories at most in one move. You've barely mastered your own strength. Manic Explosion, on the other hand, has allowed you to master an ultimate move in advance. That old man Zhang Dingnan's modified combat techniques are not bad. Zhang Dingnan's modified Manic Explosion was equivalent to separating the ultimate move and the ultimate move. This was much easier than mastering a single ultimate move. At this moment, if Fong Ping truly unleashed an outburst, he might be able to unleash 150 calories vitality in a single move, but it would definitely not reach 200 calories. However, if he used Manic Explosion's 4 consecutive slashes, his stacked 320 calories vitality outburst would be slightly weaker than a single move, but it would definitely be more powerful than other upper stage rank 3 martial artists' 250 calories vitality outburst. Of course, this would also consume more vitality. When you've mastered the 5 consecutive slashes, then you'll truly have mastered a rank 3 ultimate move. Lu Fengru revealed a rare smile. She laughed lightly and said, if you've mastered a rank 3 ultimate move, you'll be one of the best among rank 3 martial artists. I'm not referring to the Martial Arts University's rank 3 ranking, but the entire country's, including the military departments. You haven't entered the national ranking yet, but after mastering the 5 consecutive slashes, your ranking won't be lower than Qin Fengqing's. Qin Fengqing was currently ranked 6th in the Martial Arts University ranking. 2 days ago, the overall ranking that was only circulated internally was updated. Qin Fengqing was ranked 46th overall. As for CLA, he was ranked 99th overall, barely making it into the ranking. If Fong Ping had mastered the 5 consecutive slashes, his ranking would not be much lower than Qin Fengqing's. Obviously, CLA had not mastered a rank 3 ultimate move. As for the top 50 rank 3 martial artists, they might have already mastered it. Of course, this is considered a shortcut. Besides, it consumes a lot of vitality. Still, I'll say it again. For you, the difference isn't that big. Fong Ping could recover his vitality anyway. Fong Ping smiled bitterly. Lu Fengru had overestimated him. He did not have wealth, so he was about the same as others. His vitality was really not higher than others. In other words, he did not have wealth, so he was at Qin Fengqing's level at most. However, if he had wealth, even if there were a few more Qin Fengqings, he might not be able to defeat them. Lu Fengru continued. The time you've spent cultivating combat techniques is still too short. You've only grasped the basics now. No matter how strong combat techniques are, it's still about application. If you can't hit someone, 1,000 cal outburst will be useless. Therefore, you need to cultivate more. When necessary, you can spar with others. Besides, you don't have much of an advantage among rank 3 martial artists. If you really want to be invincible among rank 3 martial artists, you need to at least reach peak rank 3 and master individual ultimate moves. Ultimate moves also have differences in strength. We can all call an outburst of 300 calories and above a rank 3 ultimate move. But what about a 500 calories vitality outburst? A rank 3 powerhouse like that can kill a rank 4 or 5 martial artist with one move if they concentrate all their vitality into one move and have a 900 calories vitality outburst. They don't need to use too many moves. One move is enough to kill the enemy. This is the definition of an ultimate move. Fong Ping could only say that he had to look up to it. This kind of martial artist needed to immerse himself in combat techniques for at least 10 years or more. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to achieve. Fong Ping felt that if he wanted to achieve it, unless his vitality broke through the limit of 999 calories, if he reached 1,500 calories, he might be able to achieve an ultimate move outburst of 8 or 900 cal vitality. If he did not have enough time, he would have to cheat to make up for it. Fong Ping felt that he could consider this method instead of stubbornly delving into combat techniques to increase his vitality outburst. When his cultivation ended on the 14th, Fong Ping was once again on the brink of needing emergency treatment. For 5 million wealth had barely held on until now. If he did not get rich tomorrow, he had to quickly think of other ways to earn some money. Chapter 229. June 15th, Monday. Today was not only the day Fong Ping had signed the contract, but it was also the day the Gaocao's cultural studies results were checked and the martial arts universities announced their admission standards. In 2008, MCMAU enrolled 1,580 people. The minimum admission standard was 130 calories vitality and 620 marks in cultural studies. In 2009, MCMAU expanded its enrollment to 2,000 people. However, the standard did not drop. Instead, it increased slightly. The minimum vitality was 132 calories. In the morning, Fong Ping heard some students discussing this year's enrollment when he walked out of school. He was filled with emotion. This time last year, he was also having a headache about which martial arts university to apply to. In the blink of an eye, he was already rank 3. After a while, 2,000 students will enter the university. I wonder if there will be any amazing genius martial artists this year. Fong Ping mumbled to himself as he strolled out of the campus. MCMU was becoming more and more deserted. Most of the fourth-year students had already left the university. There were a few who did not leave. Most of them were staying on as MCMU's assistant instructors. In MCMU, university only lasted 4 years. There was no further study. The only chance to stay on was to become an assistant instructor or an instructor. However, an assistant instructor could be a rank 3 martial artist, while an instructor had to be at least rank 4. Most instructors actually started at rank 3. Few rank 4 graduates stayed on. It was normal for them to work in the government, the military department, the education department, or other places. On the way, Fong Ping's phone rang. Fong Yuan answered the call and asked coquettishly, "Brother, can you come back tomorrow?" Fong Yuan was going to take the Gaokao on the 17th. If he did not go back tomorrow, Fong Ping might not go back. Fong Ping could not help but laugh. "I think I can. I'll take care of some things today. After I'm done, I'll drive back. It'll be quick." "Really?" "Of course. Rest well. Exams are coming up. Don't think about random things all day." Fong Ping did not really care about Fong Yuan's Gaokao results. In this day and age, cultural studies were important, but martial arts was more important. The government wanted martial science students to take cultural studies in the hopes that they would not become simple brutes and brutes. Martial artists could also achieve better results in other fields. If it was just purely learning martial arts, such a martial artist would be more likely to break the law, and it would be difficult for them to go far on the path of martial arts. Of course, if one really wanted to excel in martial arts, the requirements for cultural studies would be much lower. For example, Fong Ping had talked to a few martial arts candidates in Nanjiang before. Even if these people did poorly in cultural studies, it would not be too much of a problem for them to enroll in MCMAU. After chatting with Fong Yuan for a while, Fong Ping arrived at the hotel where they had agreed to meet. Hotel conference room. Li Qingze and a few of Distance's managers, including the technical director, had already arrived. They had also hired a lawyer from a law firm. As soon as Fong Ping arrived, Li Qingze breathed a sigh of relief. "Mr. Fong, Boss Fong." The few of them hurriedly greeted him. Fong Ping nodded slightly and asked, "Where is the other party now?" "We're almost there. It's 9 o'clock, so we shouldn't be late." "Let's go and welcome him. Let's see who has such good taste. We haven't seen him yet." Fong Ping chuckled. Fong Ping had never heard of the name of the company he was investing in. It was not well known. The other party had been negotiating with Li Qingze and the others. Fong Ping had not seen them even once. They had the guts to spend $30 million to buy 30% of Distance's FNB platform at this time. Perhaps $30 million was not a lot for a big organization or a big corporation. However, for a small company like this, an investment of $30 million was not a small amount. Fong Ping did not bring them far. He stood at the conference room door for a while. Soon, 5 or 6 people walked toward them from the corridor. From a distance, Li Qingze whispered, "The one at the front is the Deputy General Manager of New Martial Fund, Jiang Yuanhao, CEO Jiang. He seems to be a martial artist too." Li Qingze did not need to introduce him. Fong Ping had already noticed him from a distance. Fong Ping could not tell whether he was a rank 2 martial artist or a peak or upper stage. Jiang Yuanhao was not old either. He looked about 30 years old. He looked gentle and wore gold-rimmed glasses. He was taller than Fong Ping, at least 1.8 meters. As soon as Li Qingze finished speaking, Fong Ping stepped forward and extended his hand with a smile. "CEO Jiang, it's our first time meeting. Sorry for the delay." Jiang Yuanhao had already extended his hand and shook Fong Ping's. He said with a smile, "Mr. Fong, it's understandable that you've been busy. You've improved so quickly in martial arts. I'm honored that you've taken the time to meet me." "CEO Jiang, you're slapping me in the face. But I've been cultivating lately. I'm really sorry." The two of them exchanged a few pleasantries before entering the conference room together. Jiang Yuanhao did not have the slyness of a businessman. Or rather, he did not feel the need to be like this with Fong Ping. He went straight to the point as soon as he sat down. "Mr. Fong, we'll sign the contract according to our agreement. $30 million for 30% of Distance's FNB shares. One of our reasons for investing in Distance's FNB is that we're optimistic about it. Another reason is that we believe that Mr. Fong will go further in martial arts in the future and bring more benefits to our partnership." However, seeing him looking at him, Fong Ping said with a smile, "CEO Jiang, you can talk about any conditions. You don't have to worry too much. When doing business, you can't just let one party bear the risk." "Mr. Fong, you're a straightforward man." Then I'll cut to the chase. Before we came, the company hoped that we could add a clause to the contract. Jiang Yuanhao paused and continued. "New Martial is investing in Mr. Fong's Distance, not anyone else's. So if there's a change in Distance's ownership and Mr. Fong is no longer the CEO, we have the right to ask for compensation." Fong Ping understood what he meant. He thought for a moment and said, "Sure." The New Martial Fund invested half in companies and half in people. If Fong Ping decided to sell Distance, then New Martial investors' overbid would be in vain. Fong Ping could understand the other party's request. As for the amount of compensation, the New Martial Fund's clause was 3 times the contract price. Fong Ping did not care too much about this. He would think about it when the time came. If he really made money, he would not care about this. Even if he did make money, Fong Ping would not quit. Whether he made a loss or went bankrupt were all other factors. It had nothing to do with Fong Ping. Both parties quickly signed the contract. Once it was signed, Fong Ping thought for a moment and said, "If it's convenient for you, I hope that the $30 million can be transferred to your account as soon as possible." This was an acquisition, not financing. Regardless of whether it was an acquisition or financing, Even if the contract was signed, the payment would not usually be so quick. No payment meant that the contract had not been officially signed. Fong Ping knew the system's character. The system would not evaluate his wealth without an official agreement. Zhang Yuanhao was slightly surprised to hear Fong Ping's urgency, but he still smiled and said, "Sure. We also believe that distance and Mr. Fong will not disappoint us." 30 million was not much, but it was not little either. However, Fong Ping was a rank 3 martial artist. He did not want to ruin his reputation. Moreover, the contract had been signed. A day earlier or a day later would not make much of a difference. "If you're in a hurry, Mr. Fong, I'll talk to the company when I get back. The funds will be transferred to your account within 3 days. Fong Ping calculated for a moment. 3 days was only the 18th. He smiled and said, "Sorry for the trouble. I'm really in urgent need this time." Zhang Yuanhao seemed to know something. He thought for a moment and said, "Mr. Fong, are you buying some necessities?" "Yes, I see." Zhang Yuanhao thought for a moment and said, "How about this? I'll call the company now and try to get them to complete the follow-up procedures as soon as possible. We can't delay Mr. Fong's business." It was normal to go into the catacombs and buy all kinds of pills and weapons in advance. Although Zhang Yuanhao was not a rank 3 martial artist, he should have some understanding of the catacombs. He might have guessed Fong Ping's purpose. After signing the contract and investing in distance and Fong Ping, he naturally did not want Fong Ping to die young. Zhang Yuanhao was a man of his word. He called the new martial fund on the spot. Fong Ping hurriedly thanked him, and the collaboration was officially finalized. As for the specific details of the cooperation and the supervision of the personnel, Fong Ping did not care. New Marshall's entry coincidentally prevented Li Qingze from monopolizing power. This was a good thing for Fong Ping. He did not have to find someone to supervise him. Everyone had lunch together. During the meal, Fong Ping had a general understanding of the new Marshall Fund. The new Marshall Fund had not been established for long. Its headquarters was not in Magic City, but in Capital City. Although it had only been established for a short period of time, it still had a lot of capital. For more than a year, it had invested a lot in both Magic City and Capital City. According to Zhang Yuanhao, they were mostly investing in students from the Big Two. Rather than saying they were investing in the enterprise, it was more like they were investing in the enterprise's owner. Students from the Big Two would usually have a good future after graduating. However, it was not uncommon to see a freshman like Fong Ping. Although Zhang Yuanhao's strength was not as good as Fong Ping's, he was more knowledgeable. During the meal, they also talked about the situation of the martial arts universities. This included some of the geniuses. The leader of this batch of CCMEU's graduating seniors is Li Hansong, a junior this year. Li Hansong has already entered upper stage rank 4 and is expected to reach rank 5 before graduation. After Li Hansong, CCMEU's sophomores don't have any outstanding students, but there are a few freshmen. Han Su entered rank 3 a few days ago. It has been confirmed that he is thrice honed, which is the same as Mr. Fong. Fong Wenxiang has also entered peak rank 2 and is expected to reach rank 3. The 8-school alliance is also full of geniuses. In the past few years, all the schools have been experiencing a spurt of geniuses, including the normal martial arts universities. NMAU's Wang Jinyang is likely to enter upper stage rank 4. As for MCMEU, other than Mr. Fong, there are also many geniuses. CLA has already entered peak rank 3. Mr. Fong has also entered middle stage rank 3. Your classmates Zhao Lei, Chen Yunxi, and the rest are only a step away from peak rank 2. In the next few years, I think there will be more rank 3 martial artists in all the universities than before. Obviously, it would not increase his wealth. What a pity! Otherwise, if I transferred it a few more times, wouldn't my wealth keep increasing? Slightly regretful, Fong Ping did not force it. If the system was really that stupid, Fong Ping's wealth would have already reached a few billion. He would not have to worry about wealth anymore. Now I don't lack wealth, but I can't use it carelessly now. I'll only use it for battle consumption. I'll save the rest for when my wealth reaches 100 million. More than 80 million well sounded like a lot, but Fong Ping's vitality was close to 1,000 calories now. If he really encountered an intense battle, his vitality would be depleted too quickly. In one go, a few million wealth would be gone. These wealth points had to be spent sparingly. I'm preparing to enter the catacombs to spend 10 million wealth. In other words, this time I have to earn at least 30 million to ensure that my wealth reaches 100 million. 30 million? If I'm lucky, I'll find a cultivation-aiding energy stone that weighs more than 30 grams. That should be enough. It doesn't seem too difficult. Fong Ping mumbled to himself. In the end, he even said to himself, I'll have to pay more attention to the company in the future. If it's valued at tens of billions one day, I won't have to worry about my wealth anymore. Half of the investment he had made in the company had been recovered in one go. His capital was only a few million short. However, his wealth had increased by 80 million. On top of that, his other businesses were still in his hands. The express delivery company, the MCMU platform. These businesses seemed worthless now, but sooner or later, he would make a fortune. Fong Ping firmly believed that as long as society was not in chaos, I don't have to put in too much effort, and I don't have to take risks either. Other than the longer time, it's much more cost-effective than doing missions. Fong Ping was happy for a while. The uneasiness he had been feeling for the past few days vanished into thin air. Chapter 230. After paying off his debts, Fong Ping was left with close to 8 million in cash. Remembering that he had to return to Sun City tomorrow, Fong Ping went to the logistics department to buy a resurrection pill. In reality, he could choose not to go to the logistics department. However, Fong Ping liked to chat with Old Manly there. Sometimes, Old Manly would say things that were helpful to Fong Ping. Logistics department. Fong Ping spent 6 million on a resurrection pill. It had to be said that this thing was shockingly expensive. However, the resurrection pill was very effective in healing internal injuries. Fong Ping's internal organs were damaged by a punch from the Grand Missionary, but he was back to full health with just one pill. As for Chun Yunxi, she had swallowed a resurrection pill after being injured by a rank 1 martial artist during the championship. Other than being rich and willful, Fong Ping had nothing else to say. Don't try to reap any benefits the first time you're in the catacombs. Recently, Old Manly might have been too bored and could not lift his spirits. God knows where he got his hands on a long-barreled opium pipe and started his life of smoking. As he smoked, Old Manly advised, familiarize yourself with the environment the first time you go down. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Try not to stray from the team. Prepare more blood and chi replenishing pills. These aren't expensive, but in the catacombs, unless you have an energy mine, you can only eat raw food. Blood and chi replenishing pills are cheap and can fill your stomach. They're pretty good. I have a batch of fruit-flavored blood and chi replenishing pills. Do you want some? Fong Ping was speechless. Pill companies were becoming more and more humane these days. They were even starting to improve the taste. No need. You can keep them for yourself. Old Manly did not mind. He puffed out the smoke and said contentedly, Of course, there are good things in the catacombs. There are all kinds of food in the catacombs, too. Fruits taste the best. If you have the chance, bring some back for me. I haven't had them in a while. Yes, I'll keep them for you when I see them. Also, don't treat the catacombs humans like fools when you're in the catacombs. No one is. If you treat them like fools, then you're the real fool. Old Man Lee's expression turned serious. Don't think of them as lowly creatures. They've gone much further than we have. Many people entered the catacombs, saw the primitive ecological environment of the catacombs, saw the ancient city. They all felt that the catacombs' human civilization and evolution were much worse than theirs. That was an illusion. It can only be said that both sides have different evolutionary paths, and it doesn't mean that Earth is superior to them. Don't treat them like fools and try to fool them. In fact, it's hard to fool them even if you don't understand what they're saying. Fong Ping's interest was piqued. Teacher, have humans not learned the catacombs language yet? It's not that easy. The main difficulty lies in communication. Old Manly explained, the catacombs humans are unwilling to communicate with humans. You have to understand that language can only be spread and learned through communication. They are not willing to communicate with us, so it is naturally difficult for us to learn and master their language. When we meet, the first thing we do is fight to the death. But over the years, we've also seized quite a number of books from the catacombs, including the exchange of information between the two armies during a war. Although some of the captive catacombs martial artists were unwilling to communicate with us, they would still curse at us. Come to think of it, humans seem to have mastered quite a bit of their curse language. Fong Ping was speechless. Up until now, he had only learned to curse. Although he thought it was useless, Fong Ping was still interested. Teacher, teach me a few curse words. You want to learn? Yes, it's a good way to provoke your opponent. If they run away, you might be able to curse them back. Old Man Li looked at him for a while and said suddenly, Nyagukali. Fong Ping was confused. What do you mean? Transliteration. Old Man Li grinned. Basically, it means, come on, F*** King, kill me if you dare. Fong Ping coughed dryly. Old Man Li laughed. This is quite effective. It's enough to provoke people. When the catacombs humans are captured, they say this the most. Obviously, to them, this sentence is full of provocation because they are not afraid of death. So you can try. The prerequisite is that you don't stupidly provoke powerhouses. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. Even if you don't provoke them, you'll still die. That's not necessarily true. Just like how human grandmasters would not purposely kill the weak when they enter the catacombs, the powerhouses of the catacombs would rarely purposely kill the weak. On one hand, it's because of the difference in life level. The weak are no threat to them. On the other hand, it's a kind of unspoken rule. Soldiers fight soldiers, generals fight generals. This is also a rule that both sides tacitly agree on. Of course, this only refers to when their strengths are equal. When the war starts and there are too many powerhouses on one side, this rule will no longer exist. The more powerhouses will kill the weaker ones on the other side. This is the norm. Fong Ping nodded slightly. He made a mental note of this. If he encountered a catacombs powerhouse that he could not defeat, he still had to pretend to be weak. At most, he would come back and take revenge. Also, after entering the catacombs, you'll only be rank 3. Don't participate in the catacombs army's battle. Old Man Li said sternly, when it comes to the army's battle, martial artists in the 3 lower ranks who have not trained or experienced it will die faster than the average person if they join hastily. If you encounter a battle with more than 1,000 people, the first thing you have to do is run. Once the catacombs army has more than 1,000 people, there's a high chance that middle-ranked martial artists will be besieged to death. Understood. Also, in the catacombs, be careful of wild creatures. Their threat is no less than the catacombs humans. Maybe even greater. Remember, don't go near Sky Gate City recklessly. It's extremely dangerous. Also, to the south of the stronghold is the sea. Don't go out to sea. Many humans go out to sea, but after so many years, almost no one has returned alive. If you encounter the catacombs women, the elderly, and children, if you can't bear to kill them, then avoid them. However, don't be compassionate. Contact them and save them. Sometimes the catacombs humans will encounter danger too. They will encounter ferocious beasts in the wild, martial artists in the villages, natural disasters. You can ignore them, but remember, don't rescue them. Most of the time, it's a trap. Don't eat whatever you see. You won't even know how you died. Finally, if you encounter a human in danger, remember, don't think of rescuing a human who is stronger than you. If he's stronger than you, and he's in danger, you'll be in even more danger. Old Man Li told him many things to take note of. Fong Ping noted them down one by one. These were all words of experience. He had to pay attention, lest he made mistakes. Before Fong Ping left, Old Man Li thought for a while and suddenly said in a low voice, other than familiar people and trustworthy people, don't trust anyone outside the human stronghold, even if you encounter the army in the wild. Fong Ping stopped in his tracks. Lu Fengru probably meant the same thing. The human heart is the hardest to see through. Some people are heroes in our eyes. They fight against strong enemies, slaughter the catacombs humans, protect their homes, and defend their country. However, that doesn't mean they won't do bad things. When they encounter danger, they might use you as bait, a target to escape, or they might lack pills and supplies. When they encounter their own kind, it's better for you to die than for him to die. No one will know anyway. After killing you and robbing you of your resources, he'll continue to kill the catacombs creatures after he breaks through. He'll still be a hero in everyone's eyes. Maybe in his eyes, you've helped him and humanity. Your death is worth it. But is it worth it to you? Old Man Lee's tone was complicated. He murmured, "These things have been recorded." Back then, a rank 6 general from the military department led a team deep into the catacombs. They encountered danger and met a team of martial arts university students. They asked for help, but the other party did not agree. The general from the military department massacred these students and robbed them of their pills and supplies. After that, the team was rescued. Most of the team of 1,000 people came back alive. This general was not completely devoid of humanity. He reported it to the military department and took all the responsibility. That day, he launched a surprise attack on Sky Gate City's military camp and died in battle. This also appeased the martial arts university's anger. However, he can say it, but can everyone? Hearing this, Fong Ping's mood suddenly became terrible and complicated. Old Man Lee's mood was also very complicated. He said lightly, "I'm not telling you all this to tell you how evil people can be. These are the minority. They rarely happen. I just want to tell you to be smarter. Don't be stupid and think that humans are a family in the catacombs. Humans are social creatures. In a crowd, they can maintain their humanity, but in the wild, that may not be the case. Got it? Go." Old Man Lee did not say anything else. He leaned on the chair and smoked his pipe. The logistics department was already empty. Old Man Lee's work was getting less and less. On June 16th, Fong Ping drove back to Sun City early in the morning. Fong Ping arrived at Scenic Lake Gardens at 10:30 in the morning. After getting out of the car, he saw the uncles and aunties sitting on the stone benches, playing cards and chatting idly. Fong Ping felt a little envious. Once the government publicized the catacombs information, would these situations still exist? Probably not. Everyone was in danger. When that time came, the elderly would lose their smiles, the children would lose their innocence. Everyone would pursue strength. People would be impatient, and social order would be chaotic. All of this was foreseeable. I hope that day doesn't come. Fong Ping muttered to himself. Everyone becoming a soldier sounded uplifting, but if they really entered that era, even the last pure land might not exist. At home, Fong Ping opened the door and entered. As soon as he entered, Fong Yuan threw herself at him happily. She said excitedly, "Fong Ping, you're back." Fong Ping smiled and reached out to pinch her cheek. "If I didn't come back, you would have torn me apart." "I wouldn't." Fong Yuan giggled and said hurriedly, "Brother, did you drive back? Did you buy a car?" "Yes." "Can you take me for a ride?" "No. Exams are tomorrow. Why would you want to go for a ride? Behave yourself." Fong Yuan pouted unhappily, but she quickly giggled again. "Brother, you're a rank 3 martial artist now?" "Yes." "You're even on the rank 3 combat strength ranking. That's amazing. My teachers and classmates say that you're the #1 martial artist in Sun City." Fong Ping laughed. "Who said that?" Sun City was small, but there were still powerhouses. Over the years, a rank 5 martial artist had left the city, although he had already moved his residence. Even if he did not count that person, Wang Jinyang might have achieved upper stage rank 4. He was much stronger than Fong Ping. Also, over the years, many students from Sun City had entered martial arts universities. Although most of them were weak, mostly rank 1 and 2, many of them had graduated many years ago. Who knew if any of them had achieved rank 4? Fong Ping did not ask about this. Saying that Fong Ping was the #1 martial artist in Sun City was obviously an overstatement. However, the rank 4 and rank 5 rankings had not been made public, so many people did not know about them. There was no ranking for rank 6, and no one from Sun City was on the Grandmaster ranking. Speaking of which, according to the public ranking, Fong Ping was indeed the strongest. The siblings chatted for a while before Li Yueying came downstairs. Seeing Fong Ping, she was stunned for a moment, then glared at Fong Yuan. Obviously, this was Fong Yuan's idea. The couple did not ask Fong Ping to come back to take the exams. Now that her son was home, Li Yueying hurried out to buy groceries. Fong Ping could not stop her. After her mother left, Fong Yuan suddenly whispered, "Fong Ping, did you kill someone?" Fong Ping was not surprised. He had seen the rank 3 ranking later and knew what was going on. Hearing his sister's question, Fong Ping chuckled. "Scared? No. It's just, Fong Ping, you killed bad people, right?" "Yes. I told you. You must have killed bad people." Fong Yuan seemed relieved. She giggled. "I'm not scared. When I become a martial artist, we'll kill bad people together." "What do you know, little girl?" Fong Ping ruffled her hair. She talked about killing people as if they were chickens when they had never experienced it. Only when they had experienced it would they know that killing was not something that could be done with words. Fong Ping did not say much. He patted her head and checked her vitality. The girl's vitality was almost 140 calories. Her improvement was not slow. "After the exams, I'll give you a big gift. Do well." "Big gift?" Fong Yuan's eyes lit up. She asked in surprise, "What big gift?" "I'm not telling you now. You'll know when the time comes." Fong Ping kept it a secret and did not tell her. He would not tell the girl that he had prepared a lot of things for her. The basic combat techniques, cultivation videos, and cultivation manuals that Wang Jinyang had given him had been brought to school, and he had brought them back this time. This included some of Fong Ping's own understanding of combat techniques. Although his combat techniques cultivation progress was average, as Fong Yuan's brother, Fong Ping wrote down everything in detail. Outsiders would not be so responsible. Other techniques, such as Zhang Dingnan's manic explosion and Lu Fengru's blood arrow method, were not allowed to be leaked, but Fong Ping still kept them to himself. He wrote down a detailed cultivation method and brought it back with him. Zhang Dingnan's manic explosion, which had been modified after he entered the Grandmaster realm, and Lu Fengru's blood arrow method were both top-notch middle-rank combat techniques. It was difficult for outsiders to learn these combat techniques. Even martial arts university students might not be able to learn them. Finally, there was a bank card. Fong Ping put his remaining 2 million into the card. He left all these things for Fong Yuan. Fong Ping was actually quite nervous about entering the catacombs this time. Too many martial artists had died in the catacombs. Fong Ping could not calm himself down since it was his first time entering. He wondered if the girl would break down when she found a big bag of books when she was expecting the big gift after the exams. Chapter 231. The senior high school entrance examination began on June 17th. Fong Yuan was assigned to Sun City No. 1 High School. In the morning, her parents did not send her off. Only Fong Ping accompanied her. On the way, Fong Yuan was in a good mood. She giggled. "Brother, I want to get into Sun City No. 1 High School too. We'll talk about it after you get in." "No problem. I'm very good." The siblings chatted until they reached the school gates. The gates were not open yet, so they were not allowed in. No one had recognized Fong Ping yet, but Fong Yuan was. Just as they stopped outside the gates, someone shouted, "President, Sister Yuan Yuan! Sister Yuan Yuan!" The continuous shouts stunned Fong Ping for a moment. Some of the surrounding students, especially the girls, were obviously not from Fong Yuan's school. They were not from Experimental High because they were wearing school uniforms. However, they crowded around her, chattering excitedly. "Sister Yuan Yuan, you're taking the exam in No. 1 High School too. What a coincidence." "President, are we organizing activities after the exams?" "Sister Yuan Yuan, are the pole-standing classes still recruiting? I want to sign up." It was as if all the girls in the world had become members of Yuan Ping Club. At that moment, there were dozens of girls waiting outside the gates. Almost everyone knew Fong Yuan, and they were calling her president, Big Sister. Fong Yuan was also overwhelmed. Replying to this and that after listening for a while, Fong Ping suddenly asked, "Girl, how many people are in your club?" Before Fong Yuan could reply, a girl who did not know Fong Ping said proudly, Every girl is a member of Yuan Ping Club. 3,000 members spread all over Sun City. Fong Ping's expression kept changing. 3,000 members. Are you kidding me? He was still thinking about it when a few girls beside him said loudly, "If there's a will, there's a way. If there's no way out, Sun City will belong to us." The heavens do not disappoint those who work hard. 3,000 girls know martial arts. Fong Ping. At that moment, Fong Ping was completely stunned. What arrogance! Sun City belonged to them, and 3,000 girls knew martial arts. Were they rebelling? The parents who had sent their children to take the exam were also stunned. A group of Chinibu girls gathered together. It was unknown who changed the couplet, but it became their slogan at the moment. Seeing that these girls did not stutter at all, it was obvious that they shouted quite a lot. Fong Ping was dumbfounded. Fong Yuan stole a glance at her brother's expression and asked awkwardly, "Brother, are you all right?" Fong Ping's expression darkened. He gritted his teeth and said, "I'm fine. I just want some peace and quiet." It had already grown to 3,000 people. This was going to overturn the heavens. The Ping Yuan Club only has 108 members. What are you trying to do? Fong Yuan looked embarrassed, but soon, another cheer came from the side. "Good day, Vice President." Fong Ping was dumbfounded again. Is she calling me? What were these Chinibu girls doing? Fong Yuan continued to maintain her awkwardness. She whispered, "I'm the president. You're the vice president." Fong Ping laughed. Ha! These little girls had never seen Fong Ping before, but they had seen his picture. Plus, they had heard Fong Yuan call him brother, so they were extremely excited. Sun City's #1 martial artist was back. The parents were just about to scold their daughters, but when they heard the crowd talking about the #1 martial artist in Sun City, they did not dare to scold them. They all looked at Fong Ping in awe. If his daughter joined some random group, he would be scolded for a while, and then he would have to deal with her later. However, since they had joined Sun City's #1 martial artist club, it did not matter anymore. Everyone in Sun City knew that Fong Ping, a young man, had improved rapidly in martial arts. He was about to surpass Sun City's commander. Many people knew that these martial artists had killed before. Fong Ping had killed a peak rank 3 martial artist. He might even be stronger than Sun City's commander. Because of this, the parents no longer thought that their daughters were fooling around. Practicing martial arts and becoming martial artists were what all ordinary families wanted to do. Raising a martial artist was difficult. Extremely difficult. Martial artists were too far away in their eyes. They were too high and mighty. They could not come into contact with them normally. Now a rank 3 martial artist seemed to have opened a martial arts class. The parents were excited. Could it be that their daughters had a chance to become martial artists? Fong Ping was mentally exhausted. His sister had become a big shot, the leader of 3,000 people. Yuan Ping Club members could be seen everywhere, anytime, anywhere. Did Bai Jinshan know that an organization of 3,000 people had risen in a small Sun City? Did Bai Jinshan want to cry? Did he have 3,000 people under his direct control? Just as Fong Ping was doubting his life, the school gates opened. It was time for exams. As Fong Yuan was escorted into the exam hall, Fong Ping wanted to die when he saw the parents' gazes. "I didn't create this club. I'm not that delusional. How could they come up with such a shameful slogan? I can't afford to lose this face." He was about to flee when the school gates opened again. The principal of #1 high school walked out with some teachers. Student Fong Ping. From a distance, the principal, whom he had never met before, reached out and grabbed Fong Ping's hand. He said enthusiastically, "I didn't expect student Fong Ping to return to his alma mater. Please come in." Before this, the school was discussing whether to invite student Fong to give a speech. However, considering that student Fong is proficient in martial arts and should not be disturbed, the school changed their decision and did not disturb student Fong. Now that student Fong has returned to his alma mater, the principal was so enthusiastic that he could not bear to let go of Fong Ping's hand. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. When he saw that the principal was about to drag him into the school, he said, "Principal, the school is still having exams." Before the principal could say anything, someone beside him smiled and said, "Mr. Fong, it's all right. It's an honor for the students to have you here to inspect the Sun City Senior High School entrance examination. The person who said that was obviously not from the school. As expected, the principal immediately introduced him. Student Fong, this is Section Chief Liu from the Education Bureau. He's mainly in charge of the senior high school entrance examination matters. Section Chief Liu was a plump, middle-aged man. He smiled like a Mithriya Buddha and said hurriedly, "I'm not in charge. I'm just here to serve the students. Speaking of which, I'm still Director Fong's soldier." Is that Director Fong's daughter? I can't believe I didn't recognize her. What a dereliction of duty. Fong Ping was speechless. Director Fong, are you talking about my father? My old man said that he's in the office now. He's only in charge of reading newspapers and drinking tea. Where did this soldier come from? They're going to be a family soon. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. There were even more people outside, and everyone was watching. Fong Ping did not refuse anymore. He shook his hand lightly and accidentally shook the principal's hand off. Only then did he say, "Let's talk inside. I hope we won't disturb the students' exams." The senior high school entrance examination was actually an exam organized by the city. It was different from the Gaokao. To Section Chief Liu and the others, it was not a big deal if they were disturbed. If worse came to worse, they could just take the exam again. Compared to receiving Fong Ping, who had killed a peak rank 3 martial artist, a small exam was really nothing. Even if this matter were to spread to the city, Commander Bai would not say anything. After entering the school and avoiding the gazes of the parents, Fong Ping relaxed a little. Looking at the teachers around him, Fong Ping exchanged a few pleasantries and asked with a smile, "Teacher Liu isn't in school." The principal said hurriedly, "Look at this mess. Teacher Liu is on leave today. I'll get someone to inform him immediately and ask him to come over." "Don't. I won't disturb the teacher if he's on leave." Fong Ping said a few words. Seeing everyone looking at him eagerly, he felt a headache coming on. He could not just walk away, so he changed the topic. "Principal, how's Sun City No. 1 High School's Gaokao this year?" The principal smiled quickly. "Very good. Of course, it can't be compared to your batch last year. Last year, student Fong ranked first in the martial sciences exams and got into Magic City Martial Arts University. He led Magic City Martial Arts University's team to win first place in a national martial arts grand competition." The principal praised Fong Ping for a while before returning to the topic at hand. This year, there are a total of 8 students with vitality above 120 calories and 2 with vitality above 130 calories. Student Fong, what do you think about them applying to MCMAU? Can they apply? If we knew that student Fong would be coming back today, the school would have organized for you to give these students some pointers. What a pity. Fong Ping could not help but laugh. After some thought, he said, "This year, MCMAU is recruiting 2,000 people. Those with vitality that meet the standard can give it a try. However, NMAU is also reforming and recruiting. Senior Wang, who's a year ahead of me, is now in charge of daily teaching at NMAU. If you think NMAU is acceptable, I actually recommend everyone apply to NMAU." Fong Ping was not jealous of others applying to MCMAU, but to be honest, normal students did not have a good life in MCMAU. They were not as valued as NMAU. In Fong Ping's batch, Guosheng and the others came from well-to-do families, but they had only just broken through to the martial artist realm. In MCMAU, their instructors were usually rank 4, so they could not get any credits as rewards. On the other hand, NMAU had more opportunities. Wu Zhihao and the others were doing well in NMAU. They were close to the martial artist realm, so normal martial arts universities valued them more. Nanjiang Martial Arts University. Huh? The principal muttered. Fong Ping did not know if he heard it, but he did not care. He was just suggesting. It was better for real geniuses to apply to MCMAU. They had more opportunities. What he was afraid of was that if they did not reach that standard, they would really fade into the crowd once they entered MCMAU. Student Wang Jinyang is already in charge of NMAU's daily affairs. His words were a little surprising. The teachers, including the section chief, were a little shocked. What did this mean? They were all aspiring martial artists, so they did not know much about the martial arts circle. They admired Fong Ping because he was admitted to MCMEU and was on the rank 3 combat strength ranking. So he was more famous than Wang Jinyang. Now that Fong Ping said this, everyone was a little dazed. Fong Ping walked and talked. He did not say too much. After a few general words, he excused himself with an excuse that he had something to do and left early. He did not walk through the school gate. Instead, he found a place with no one around, jumped over the wall. 2 hours later, the exam ended. Fong Ping did not wait at the school gate. When Fong Yuan came out of the crowd, Fong Ping suddenly appeared, grabbed her, and quickly disappeared from everyone's sight. "Sir President, you're amazing." In the deserted alley, Fong Ping was almost gritting his teeth. He pinched Fong Yuan's cheeks with both hands and scolded, "You're the big sister of 3,000 people. Oh my God, you scared me so much that my little heart can't stop beating. Stupid girl, why didn't you study properly? Why did you go and play with these things?" Fong Ping pinched her cheeks and tore them apart. "You want me to be your vice president? Are you trying to turn the world upside down? I recruited 107 people, and you recruited 3,000? I can't even be the boss in MCMEU's territory, and you're claiming that Sun City belongs to you? And everyone knows martial arts. If there were 3,000 martial artists, they would either be controlled by the government, or they would be annihilated. Most importantly, they're all female soldiers. Women's organizations are the scariest. 3,000 girls will affect more than 3,000 boys." "Pan," Fong Yuan stuttered. She looked at Fong Ping pitifully. "Stop pinching me. My cheeks are going to swell." Only then did Fong Ping let go. He said with a headache, "Why did you recruit so many people? It's fine if it's just a small fight, but how am I going to explain this to others? It's fine if it's just a bunch of middle school students, but it'll be a big deal in a few years. Dismiss them as soon as possible." "Brother," Fong Yuan said with a bitter face, "I didn't recruit so many people. They insisted on joining. Really, I'm not lying. I had to. If I didn't, they'd set up their own Yuan Ping Club. Then, they sent someone to our school to look for me, saying that they'd already helped me set up a branch. They'd even paid the group fees. Then, you got greedy at the sight of money and agreed." "No." Fong Yuan denied hurriedly. She said pitifully, "I said I wouldn't charge them, but they wouldn't agree. If I said I wouldn't charge them, I wouldn't acknowledge them as members of Yuan Ping Club. If I didn't acknowledge them, they'd form a group and cry." "What?" "They'd form a group and go to our school to complain, saying that I didn't recruit them. I'm so annoyed." Fong Ping felt his heart twitch. After a while, he said weakly, "Ask Dad to tell Uncle Tan that it's fine if they're just fooling around. If something happens, don't get involved. Now that you're wearing the yellow robe, you have no choice but to do it. Don't mess around. Also, the pole standing class is just fooling around. You're not allowed to teach anyone combat techniques." "I don't know either," Fong Yuan mumbled. "Cut the crap. Anyway, remember, don't do anything stupid. Don't fight with others, don't stand up for others, don't hang out with shady people, and don't use my name to bully others. If someone bullies you, I'll hack them to death, but if they bully others, that's none of my business. The next time I come back, if you create a 10,000-member club for me, I'll slap you to death. Do you believe me?" Fong Ping was speechless. What a mess this was. "Got it?" Fong Yuan sighed helplessly. "I don't want to recruit anymore. It's so tiring. You asked Dad to tell Uncle Tan, but not long ago, Uncle Tan asked me to open the back door and let his niece join our club. There's no point in telling him, right?" Cough, cough, cough. Fong Ping clutched his chest and coughed violently. F***CK? Was he kidding? Tan Jinping must be crazy. He even let his niece join the club? What was wrong with this world? Fong Ping felt helpless. Had he fallen behind the times? Was this all the rage now? He looked at the aggrieved Fong Yuan again. Fong Ping reached out and pinched her cheeks, sighing as he walked. A tall tree attracts the wind. It's my fault. Anyway, you have to be smart. Don't take this stuff seriously, understand? Yes. Fong Ping could not be bothered to say anything more. Obviously, he had a lot to do with Yuan Ping Club's sudden growth. By Jinshan, and the others probably thought it was a child's play and did not care about it. Instead, they seemed to be adding fuel to the fire. The deeper their family's entanglement with Sun City, the more they could not leave it. His father had become a deputy director. Who knew? He might become a deputy director one day. Who knew? The Fangs had taken root in Sun City. They could not move even if they wanted to. Chapter 232. The senior high school entrance examination finally ended on the 17th and 18th. During these 2 days, Fong Ping only dropped them off outside the school. He would leave soon after. At night, Fong Ping would focus on cultivating combat techniques. He spat blood all over the gym, almost scaring Li Yueying, who was cleaning. When she found out that Fong Ping was cultivating, Li Yueying was full of doubts. Spitting so much blood while cultivating? Did all martial artists cultivate like this? Fong Ping was helpless. That was how the blood arrow method was cultivated. He could not do anything about it. Lu Fengru did not tell him, or rather, forgot to tell him, that it was okay to cultivate with saliva in one's mouth. There was no need to spit blood every day and pollute the environment. Of course, Fong Ping did not know about this. If he did, he would curse. On the afternoon of the 18th, the senior high school entrance examination ended. When Fong Yuan stretched out her hand to ask for a gift, Fong Ping handed her a big bag. Fong Yuan, who was full of joy, doubted life the moment she opened the bag. Was this the big gift? Frustration, dissatisfaction, grief, all kinds of emotions were vividly reflected on the girl's face. Fong Ping wanted to laugh, but he felt lost in the end. He rubbed her head and said, "This is information on combat techniques. There are videos of basic combat techniques that you can cultivate. I've also written down some cultivation experiences. You could take a look. Don't be a martial artist who only has vitality." Puncture kick is a higher-level combat technique. Beginners can try cultivating it. As for the other 2 combat techniques, remember to burn them after you've learned how to cultivate them. Don't cultivate them recklessly. One day, when you've met the requirements, you can try cultivating them. Also, when you apply for martial arts universities, you can apply for NMEU or MCMEU. If Wang Jinyang is still around, you can ask him for help to arrange a better instructor for you, or you can ask him to be your instructor. If you go to MCMEU, my instructor is Lu Fengru. Your brother also has a friend, Instructor Li from the logistics department. Fong Ping suddenly remembered. What was old man Li's name? Fong Ping did not dwell on this. He smiled and said, "If you go to MCMEU, you can ask them for help. Just say she's my sister. Forget it. If you're in danger, you can ask them for help. I actually hope that you can live a peaceful life. But this world, it's just that cruel." "Brother." Fong Yuan looked uneasy. "Why are you telling me this?" Fong Ping chuckled. "She's already 15. It's time for her to grow up. My sister isn't stupid. She's a smart girl. I'm a martial artist. Do you understand? Since you know that I've killed before, you should consider that one day I might." Fong Yuan's eyes reddened. She said angrily, "I'm not going to talk to you anymore." "Silly girl, don't be so childish." Fong Ping chuckled. "Your brother doesn't have a short lifespan. I've read my own fortune before. I can live to at least 99 years old. But I have no sense of direction. I'm afraid of getting lost. I'm afraid of not being able to find my way home." His phone couldn't be reached, and he couldn't find his home. Who knew when he could go home? You are an adult now. You have to take good care of your parents and wait for your brother to come back. Also, I've left you a few phone numbers. Of course, they might not be of any use. Humans are all pragmatic. Fong Ping did not know if leaving those numbers would be of any use. If he really died in the catacombs, all his value would be gone. Martial artists were also a group of pragmatic people. "All right, that's all for now. I still have to rush back to school. I have things to do." "Brother!" Fong Yuan shouted. She tugged at the corner of his shirt and said with reddened eyes, "I won't fool around anymore. I don't want any gifts. I won't leave, okay? Little girl, you should cultivate properly. Next time you come back, you'll grow fatter. It's getting harder and harder to feel." "Brother." Fong Ping smiled and rubbed her head. He picked up the wooden box and strode out the door, waving his hand as he walked. You don't have to send me off. Brother! Fong Ping drove away. Behind the car, Fong Yuan screamed at the top of her lungs. Brother, come back soon. In the car, Fong Ping sighed softly. I want to come back early too. But what if? McMao. On the night of the 19th, Tang Feng looked at the people in front of him and said slowly, Have you all said goodbye to your families? Leave a will for yourselves. Maybe you'll be safe after entering the catacombs. Maybe you'll all be wiped out. Tang Feng's tone was calm. It's very common. You have to be prepared. Even grandmasters can't say that they'll be 100% safe after entering the catacombs and that they'll be able to return safely. But don't worry. Even if you really die in the catacombs, the school will take good care of your families. All humans who enter the catacombs, no matter if they're forced or helpless, are heroes. They're the backbone of humanity. Tonight, you can let loose for once. Eat some good food and drink some good drinks. Tomorrow, cheer up and get ready to go to the catacombs together. Everyone was silent. The atmosphere was heavy. Tang Feng did not say anything else. Soon he left the scene. As soon as he left, Fu Changding, who was in the crowd, said loudly, You make it sound so scary. Martial artists have to go through this sooner or later. Martial artists of my generation are indifferent to life and death. The catacombs is not a dragon's pool or a tiger's den. Many martial artists have become middle-ranked or even grandmasters in the catacombs. We don't need you to comfort us. Zhao Lei snored softly and said lightly, Becoming a martial artist means that life and death are no longer a concern. Idiot! Fong Ping scolded and said exasperatedly, Isn't it good to be alive? Once we enter the catacombs, you're just a bunch of rank 2 martial artists. Stop pretending to be powerful. Behave yourselves. This time, our priority is to familiarize ourselves with the environment. Put everything else aside. I'm warning you. When you're in danger, take care of yourself. Don't let those idiotic plots appear in television dramas. When you meet an undefeatable opponent, all of you rush forward like idiots. Don't act like idiots and say, I'm not leaving, I'm staying. I don't want to see idiotic things happen to us. We're going to kill enemies and earn money. Don't talk to me about other things. All right, disperse. Go back to your homes and find your mothers. Fong Ping dispersed the crowd with the attitude of a vice captain. The crowd did not say anything. Fong Ping was the strongest. Once they entered the catacombs, it would really be a battle of strength. After the others left, Fu Changding grinned and said, Fong Ping, once we enter the catacombs, I have a treasure map here. When the time comes, we'll make a huge profit. Fong Ping snorted and said exasperatedly, Get lost. The catacombs are all treasure lands. The key is whether you have the strength or not. Treasure map? Do you think I'm an idiot? If there were really treasures, martial artists would be more powerful than locusts. Why would they leave them for you? Moreover, the catacombs is huge. There are treasures everywhere. If I give you the location of the energy mine in the depths of the catacombs, that counts as a treasure map, would you be able to enter? You wouldn't even know how you died. Ignoring the fellow, Fong Ping moved closer to Qin Yunxi and whispered, Yunxi, does your grandfather know you're going into the catacombs? Yes. Did he give you something to save your life? Qin Yunxi was a little confused. What? Something like a Grandmaster scroll. Scroll? Qin Yunxi did not quite understand. She shook her head and said no. What else? Fong Ping, you're asking a strange question. What else? Sigh. Fong Ping was helpless. He could only ask directly, How many pills did you bring into the catacombs? Quite a lot. How many resurrection pills? 5. Only 5. Fong Ping was not very satisfied. He said angrily, Your grandfather is so stingy. He should have given you at least 50. Let's make a deal. If we encounter any trouble or danger, you'll give me all the pills you have. How about that? Fong Ping. Before Qin Yunxi could reply, Yang Xiaoman said angrily, Can you not be so shameless? Fong Ping frowned. Be serious. Give them to me, and I'll guarantee your lives. He did not mention borrowing them. Only by giving them would he have wealth points? If they really encountered trouble, these rich people would have quite a lot of pills on them. Their value was not low. Giving them to him might increase his wealth points by tens of millions or even hundreds of millions. With so much wealth points, if he did not encounter an enemy that made him feel hopeless, Fong Ping could slash him a few hundred times for consecutive slashes. Yang Xiaoman looked angry. She obviously did not believe him. Seeing that, Fong Ping did not say anything else. As he walked back, he said, "It's up to you whether you believe me or not. Anyway, I won't risk my life for you if I don't do something for you." Fong Ping, you're too realistic. We won't beg you even if we die, Yang Xiaoman said angrily. If Fong Ping did not say that he would give them things, they would definitely repay him if he really saved them. Now, however, Fong Ping was being so realistic. It made them feel bad. Fong Ping did not utter a word. What did she know? If he was not realistic, where would he get the capital to save them? It was already very late when he returned to the dormitory. Not long after he entered, there was a knock on the door. Fong Ping opened the door. Fu Changding was standing outside, smiling. "Want a drink?" As he said that, he raised the wine bottle in his hand. Without waiting for Fong Ping's reply, Fu Changding squeezed his way in and sat down. He chuckled. "Martial artists don't drink, but I remember that my grandfather and the others would drink a little every time they went down to the catacombs. Who knew if there would still be a tomorrow? I didn't understand before, but I do now. This morning, my father gave me a call and told me that if I died in the catacombs, he would give me 8 or 10 younger brothers and sisters to avenge me. Tell me, he's already so old, yet he still wants 8 or 10 younger brothers and sisters. Isn't my father shameless enough?" Fong Ping chuckled. He took out 2 cups from the cupboard and joked, "I'm just afraid that your mother didn't give birth to your younger siblings, and your old man is purposely finding an excuse to bring your younger siblings home. Get lost. My father wouldn't dare. He's only peak rank 3. My mother is rank 4. Cough, cough, cough. Fong Ping almost choked to death. What was going on? Were women stronger these days? He remembered that Guo Sheng's mother was slightly stronger than his father. Your father is only rank 3? What do you mean only rank 3? Fu Changding was speechless. Do you think it's that easy to enter the middle ranks? The next 10 years will be the time when our martial arts will improve the fastest. It's normal for us to improve by leaps and bounds at this time, but in the later stages, it'll depend on time. It's not that easy to enter the middle ranks. I think I'll be a middle-rank martial artist by next semester." Fu Changding was speechless. How could he refute that? Without another word, Fu Changding picked up the glass and downed it in one gulp. Then he said, "Mother asterisk her, it tastes terrible." He thought the wine tasted good, but he realized that it tasted terrible. Fong Ping could not stop laughing. He took a sip too, savoring the aftertaste. "Good wine. I haven't had it in a long time." "You've had it before? Do you think I'm like you, a hothead? You speak as if you're much older than me." Both of them talked and chatted. It was also Fong Ping's first time finding out about Fu Changding's family. The Fu family was considered a prominent family in Capital City. His grandfather was a rank 6. He was not at peak, but a rank 6 was already a powerhouse. He was a department leader at Capital City Martial Arts University. Fong Ping was surprised. It was the first time he found out that Fu Changding's grandfather was an instructor at CCMAU. This kid did not apply for CCMAU but MCMAU. What was this? The rebellion of 3 generations of martial artists? Seeing Fong Ping's surprise, Fu Changding laughed through a drunken hiccup. "What am I? My grandfather is an instructor, not the vice-chancellor or vice-chancellor. Chen Yunqi's family is the interesting one. Did you know that her grandfather is the vice-chancellor of SCMAU? What? SCMAU is one of the martial arts universities in the 8th School Alliance. Her grandfather is the vice-chancellor, but she didn't apply for SCMAU. What's wrong with me applying for MCMAU? My grandfather said that people like us shouldn't die in front of our eyes, even if we die. You don't understand. Many of the instructors' sons and daughters don't apply for the martial arts universities their fathers are in. Tell me, if one day you die in battle in front of them, how terrible would it be? Your instructor is like that. If his daughter had not died in battle in front of Vice-Chancellor Wu, things would not have turned out this way. It's the same for us. It's better to die in another school than in front of our family. Fong Ping found it hard to understand, but he could understand. He would rather his juniors die somewhere else. No matter how painful it was after they died in battle, it would not be more painful than seeing their family die in front of them. That makes sense. That's... Fu Changding smiled dizzily. Actually, when I was young, my grandfather objected to me practicing martial arts. When I was in high school, my grandfather also said that I wouldn't apply for a martial arts university. I couldn't accept it. Why? That's why I insisted on practicing martial arts. I insisted on applying for a martial arts university. I even wanted to go to MCMU, which is as famous as CCMAU. When I found out about the catacombs, I suddenly realized that he was afraid that I would die. But I feel that it's nothing. It's really nothing. I can die without regrets if I learn the truth in the morning. The path of martial arts is exciting, but the catacombs might be even more exciting. It's another world, a different world. If I don't go and experience it once in this lifetime, I won't be satisfied even if I die. Fong Ping took a sip and said lightly, "It's better to be alive than dead. No one wants to die. I still want to become a grandmaster. My grandfather didn't, so I have to become a grandmaster. But, Fong Ping, I'm suddenly afraid. I'm afraid that I'll really die. Tell me, will I die?" Fu Changding was really drunk. He said sorrowfully, "There are so many rank 2 martial artists entering the catacombs at this time. It's already very chaotic. If we encounter danger, we won't be able to protect them." Big line aside, even if all the MCMAU instructors go, they won't be able to protect us if there's a big battle. Then we'll work hard to survive. Yes, work hard to survive. Fu Changding drank another cup. There were no dishes. The two of them drank just like that. That night, many places were like this. Some people were drinking alone, while others were silently writing their wills. Would they die? No one knew. However, on the day they became martial artists, on the day they found out about the catacombs, everyone understood that this was the fate of powerhouses. There were no powerhouses who did not go to the catacombs. In the vast Sino nation, or even the whole world, there were no powerhouses who did not go to the catacombs. Even if those casual martial artists really reached that realm, they had no choice but to go. This was their responsibility and also their obligation. Unless you chose to betray and join a cult. Fong Ping was also a little drunk. It was not the wine that intoxicated him. Chapter 233, 20th of June, MCMU's auditorium. 97 students, all fully armed. Tang Feng, 1 rank 5 and 3 rank for instructors, a total of 5 instructors, were also fully armed, ready to enter the catacombs. Most of the team of 100 were rank 2 martial artists. This was the first time in many years that MCMAU had sent such a lineup into the catacombs. The 3 grandmasters, the old vice-chancellor, Wu Quishan, and Huang Jing, were all present. All of you are the backbone of MCMAU, the backbone of Sino Nation. The old vice-chancellor's tone was sonorous and powerful as he said loudly, "I hope that all of you can return safely. I hope that one day, all of you can enter the higher ranks. I hope that your achievements will be in the future, not now. However, blindly protecting and blindly escaping will not make you a powerhouse. If it's possible, I don't want to see the young you appear in the catacombs battlefield. But now, the catacombs are attacking fiercely. As elites, as martial artists, you have the duty and responsibility to go to the catacombs. Duty? Duty? Maybe you think that this is not your responsibility, nor is it your mission. You are still so young, but we are martial artists. Remember, martial artists, that is responsibility and duty. Drinking white dew in the morning and sleeping in the sunset, that is what immortals do, not martial artists. Today, I will send all of you off and await your return." The old vice-chancellor said the last sentence very loudly, his hunchback straightening. Tang Feng's expression was stern as he said loudly, "Depart." All the instructors who came to send them off, including the 3 grandmasters, straightened their backs, crossed their chests with their right hands, and gave everyone a martial arts salute. All the students felt their emotions surging. They returned the salute and strode with their heads held high, turning around and following Tang Feng, walking out together. Outside the auditorium, everyone boarded the buses. The old vice-chancellor and the others did not send them off, but their gazes were fixed on the buses, their emotions complicated. Year after year, again and again, farewell, farewell, perhaps it was also an eternal farewell. Young prodigies died in battle in foreign lands, their corpses nowhere to be found. How many people in the world knew? How heartless the heavens are! The old vice-chancellor looked up at the sky and sighed. MCMEU had been established for 60 years, and he had stayed in MCMEU for 60 years. In these 60 years, he had seen too many ups and downs, life and death parting. However, every time he saw these youngsters dying in a foreign land, he couldn't help but feel sorrow in his heart. "Teacher, this is fate," Huang Jing murmured. "No, this is not fate. Martial artists don't believe in fate." All of a sudden, the old vice-chancellor's aura exploded. His figure grew taller, and he bellowed, "It's because our generation is too weak. We can't pacify the catacombs, and we've left the future trouble to our descendants." There were very few entrances to the catacombs back then. If they could be pacified, things wouldn't have turned out this way. "I've already decided that if the situation continues to worsen, we old bastards will pacify this cave before we die. A new entrance is the most suitable." "Principal, teacher," everyone present cried out in surprise. It would take at least 3 to 5 months for the new entrance to appear. From today onwards, Vice-Chancellor Wu will be in charge of MCMAU. Dean Huang will be the Vice-Chancellor and Dean of the School of Weaponry. Tang Feng and Li Changsheng will be the Deputy Deans of the School of Weaponry. "Principal," the old Vice-Chancellor straightened his back and said with a murderous aura, "I've lived for 80 years. It's enough. I've always been plagued with injuries. Even if I don't die now, I won't live for more than a few years. I'll kill every one of them." Everyone couldn't help but feel sorrow in their hearts. Rank 8 Grandmasters were also known as Vajra powerhouses. How could a Vajra body not live for more than a few years after mastering it? Rank 8 Vajra bodies had yet to reach the limit of their lifespan. The oldest Rank 8 Grandmaster today was more than 130 years old, yet he could still fight well. The old Vice-Chancellor had just turned 80, but he was already plagued with injuries. His Vajra body was close to being worn out. All of this stemmed from his many years in the catacombs. The old Vice-Chancellor stopped narrating. He looked at Huang Jing and said, "You go." Huang Jing nodded slightly, sighed softly, and left in a flash. This time, he also wanted to enter the catacombs to protect them. 100 rank 2 and 3 martial artists. After graduating from the senior year, most of MCMU's elites would be gathered here. If they were all wiped out, MCMU would not be able to recover for a few years. In the car, everyone's emotions were still surging. 3 high grandmasters and dozens of middle-ranked instructors were sending them off. How magnificent! Tang Feng, however, was silent. He did not make a sound. After driving for more than 10 minutes, the car suddenly stopped. Only then did Tang Feng say in a low voice, "Get out of the car. Check your luggage. Don't bring any useless trash. It'll only add to your load." Everyone got out of the car. As soon as they got out, they raised their heads to look. What greeted their eyes was a restricted military area made of barbed wire and electric fences that stretched as far as the eye could see. There was a sentry every few steps. Soldiers armed with guns were everywhere. Inside the barbed wire, everyone glanced around. Tanks could be seen everywhere, almost without any concealment. Cannons and rocket launchers could also be seen from the various fortifications. These were all military forces that could be seen. Tang Feng did not say anything. He led everyone toward the main door. The defense at the door was also extremely tight. Fong Ping felt waves of threat and pressure. Inside, There were guns and even cannons aimed at them. Moreover, at the door, there were a few martial artists with strong vitality scanning everyone vigilantly. They were not lower than rank 3, and their auras were fierce. Magic City Martial Arts University, School of Weaponry Tang Feng, bringing MCMU special training class to apply to enter the catacombs. ID entry order. The person who was going through the exchange with Tang Feng was a middle-ranked martial artist. In the eyes of Fong Ping and the others' vitality was strong, not any weaker than Tang Feng's. Tang Feng meticulously took out his ID, the school's application documents, and the military department's approval of the entry documents. The other party checked them one by one, then nodded and signaled for Tang Feng to enter. When Tang Feng and the other instructors entered, it was Fong Ping and the others' turn. They still had to check their IDs and even their bags. The soldiers doing the inspection were meticulous, checking everyone strictly against their IDs. In the team, Fu Chanding asked curiously, "So strict?" Zhao Lei said lightly, "Shouldn't it be? It should be to prevent evil sects from sneaking in." As he spoke, some of the items in the bags of the people in front were immediately seized. Don't bring your cell phone. It's useless even if you bring it in. You don't have to bring any technological products. The only use is to increase the other party's spoils. As for clothes, it's enough to bring a change of clothes. You're not going on a vacation. As for food, mainly rely on pills, raw food, or by basic energy stones. When you enter the catacombs, you can use them as fire energy. The military officer who had exchanged with Tang Feng earlier said a few words. When everyone was done with the inspection, the military officer and the other soldiers with determined expressions gave Fong Ping and the others a military salute. This time, we're going to fight to protect our country, to fight for humanity, and to return in triumph. Return in triumph. The sonorous roar stirred up everyone's emotions again. The soldiers did not lower their arms even as they watched Fong Ping and the others enter the depths of the base. These were catacombs martial artists. In the outside world, martial artists were divided into vitality martial artists and combat martial artists. As for them, they were divided into the outside world martial artists and the catacombs martial artists. Only those who fought their way into the catacombs were true heroes. We haven't even entered the catacombs yet, but we suddenly feel like we have a huge responsibility. I feel completely different. That's right. Along the way, Grandmaster sent us off, and soldiers saluted us. It's given me a lot of pressure. The wind is howling, the water is cold. Before the person who was muttering these words could finish his sentence, he was punched and kicked by the people in front and behind him, shutting him up instantly. Fong Ping did not say anything and continued to walk forward with the team. Along the way, the interior of the base was also heavily guarded. There were sentries everywhere, and everyone carried guns. Martial artists could be seen everywhere. From time to time, small troops could be seen retreating from the depths. These troops were completely different from the ones Fong Ping usually saw. Their murderous aura was awe-inspiring. Many of them still had bloodstains on their bodies. Perhaps they had just retreated from the battlefield. In their hands, they also carried standard weapons. There were spearmen, sabers, and Fong Ping even saw shieldmen. After watching for a while, Fong Ping suddenly whispered, "We're lacking archers." Tang Feng, who was walking in front, said mildly, "In the catacombs troops, only martial artists are equipped with archers." Why? Normal people don't have enough vitality. When the bow and arrow leave their body, the vitality force can't last long. The lethality is not even as good as throwing a rock. Vitality force. Fong Ping understood a little. In the catacombs, humans mainly relied on vitality force to kill their opponents. When the bow and arrow left their body, aspiring martial artists had weak vitality. It was difficult for these long-range weapons to be attached with vitality force. Martial artists, on the other hand, were much stronger. The base was huge. After walking for another 5 to 6 minutes, they finally reached their destination. It was a metal hall that was even more heavily guarded. Here, there were still many soldiers on guard. At the same time, there were many more martial artists. When Fong Ping and the others arrived, everyone saluted. Some of the nervous students also returned the martial arts salute. Tang Feng and the other party talked for a while. Soon, a seamless alloy door inside the metal hall opened slowly. This is the door that leads underground. It's also the last line of defense. As for whether it's useful or not, it's hard to say. Tang Feng explained emotionlessly. At this moment, everyone had already stepped into a long underground passageway. There was no one on either side of the passageway, but Feng Ping could still feel a strong sense of danger. The entrance to the catacombs is just ahead. Everyone stay alert. Following Tang Feng's words, everyone continued forward. Soon, a figure appeared in front of them. At the entrance to the catacombs, Feng Ping and the others were not the only passageway. There were several other passageways that led to this place from other places. Just as Feng Ping and the others walked out of the passageway, they entered a huge and spacious hall. In the middle of the hall, a huge display was erected. Urgent need for energy stones. Unlimited purchase. The third defense entrance is in danger. Middle-ranked martial artists are urgently needed for defense. Purchasing hearts of rank 6 martial artists. Peak rank 5 ancient crocodile discovered 60 kilometers away from the stronghold. Recruiting 3 rank 5 martial artists to form a team to capture and kill. Everyone's attention was instantly attracted by the display. Tang Feng said lightly, just like our mission system, most of the martial arts university missions come from here. Everyone understood. At this time, there were other people in the hall. Seeing Feng Ping and the others rushing in, someone recognized Tang Feng and could not help but laugh. Instructor Tang, there are so many MCMEU students entering this time? Yes. Rank 2 martial artists. Someone felt the vitality of the rank 2 martial artists in the group and frowned slightly. Letting rank 2 martial artists enter, it's dangerous. It's not that bad yet. These little guys, go back and cultivate for a few years first. Everyone spoke up one after another. Tang Feng replied, familiarize yourself with the environment. Mainly move around within 30 kilometers. Things haven't been so good lately. They'll have to come in eventually. Sigh. Someone sighed, but did not say anything else. Tang Feng did not linger in the hall. He continued walking forward, and everyone followed. Along the way, Feng Ping also saw some familiar faces. The host from Magic City TV station? It's him. I didn't expect him to look so gentle normally, but when I saw him, he was full of murderous intent. That's Heavenly Queen Shun. I didn't expect her to be so good at singing and killing people. Everyone discussed in hushed voices. The Heavenly Queen star they were talking about also turned her head to look at them, nodded slightly, and chuckled. Safe return. As she said this, Feng Ping saw that she was carrying an unknown creature's corpse in her hands. He scratched his head. He was not used to it. Other than these people, Feng Ping also saw many soldiers passing by. When they saw Feng Ping and the others, they still saluted meticulously, even if their bodies were covered in blood and their injuries were not light. After more than a minute, everyone arrived at the end. An incomparably huge alloy door blocked everyone's way. The door was bronze in color and close to 10 meters tall. It was connected to the surrounding alloy walls. At this moment, there was only a small door about the height of a person on the door. The small door was open, but it was difficult to see what was behind it. Feng Ping murmured, "Is this the entrance to the catacombs?" Tang Feng explained, "We built this door." The entrance to the catacombs was originally a passageway similar to a space vortex. This door was built entirely with A-class alloy. Even a high-rank powerhouse would need a certain amount of time to break through. In reality, this is not a door, but a sealed house. Building such a door is also to defend against the invasion of the catacombs creatures. Of course, if they were to fight their way here, the situation would deteriorate completely. If we enter through the door, we will reach the catacombs world through the space passageway. As he explained, Feng Ping felt his way to the front of the door. He touched the ice-cold door, swallowed, and said, A-class alloy. Martial artists in the three lower ranks mainly used E and D-class alloy weapons. The three middle ranks, on the other hand, used B and C-class alloy weapons. A-class was the material used by grandmasters in weapons. Of course, whether grandmaster powerhouses used them or not, Fong Ping and the others could only judge based on the situation. As for what kind of weapons they used, almost none of them had seen it. This thing was not on the exchange list, and they did not know the price. However, D-class alloy cost 20 credits per kilogram. One could imagine how expensive A-class alloy was. More than 100 credits per kilogram. That was for sure. This was the least they could estimate. How heavy was this door? No, this was not a door. It was a house. In a place where Fong Ping and the others could not see. The back and sides were walls made of A-class alloy. 500,000 kilograms? Fong Ping made a rough estimate based on the scale. 500,000 kilograms was only 500 tons. For such a huge alloy house, it was not an overestimate. How much would it cost? Fong Ping could not even calculate it. Chapter 234. There were also martial artists standing guard at the main gate. No one stopped Fong Ping's actions. There were not many guards at the main gate. There were only two of them, and they were not young anymore. One of them was a middle-aged martial artist with a long scar running from his forehead to the corner of his mouth. Seeing Fong Ping touching the main gate in a daze, the fierce-looking middle-aged scarred man laughed heartily and said, "Little guy, do you want to move away?" "Yes," Fong Ping answered in a carefree manner. The scarred man laughed again and teased, "Work hard if you want. When the Magic City catacombs is conquered, this gate will be useless. Let's work together to tear it down." Fong Ping grinned and said, "I probably won't be interested in this gate when that time comes." Ha ha ha. The two gatekeeping martial artists laughed out loud. After a while, they said to Tang Feng, "They're all future pillars. Big Lion, be careful when you go in. I don't need you to teach me." Tang Feng's tone was not very friendly. His students were all here. How could they call him that? The two gatekeeping martial artists did not mind. The scarred man laughed and said, "Go in and come back from here. Come back alive. The older generation, our generation, it's worth it even if we die. You're still young. A bunch of chicks. You probably haven't even had the time to enjoy life. Are there women? Are there men? Let me tell you, that feeling is wonderful. Don't die so early." Lu Xiangpeng. Tang Feng frowned and scolded. The scarred man snorted and said, "What? Since when did martial artists become monks? Monks marry wives too. What? Am I wrong?" "Shut up. Hurry up and let us in." Lu Xiangpeng chuckled for a while. Without delaying business, he began to check the IDs again. He even explained, "This is the first time. I'll know you next time. There's no need to check. There are a lot of rank 2 martial artists. Is MCMU abandoning its assets? Be careful when you go in. This is your first time entering. I don't expect you to kill the enemy. Don't try to show off. Just watch obediently. When you're strong enough, you'll be able to turn them upside down sooner or later." The scarred man was nagging, but everyone could hear the concern in his words. The older generation of martial artists was somewhat worried about the rank 2 martial artists entering. After the scar-faced man checked everyone's identification, he entered through the small door. Another cultivator outside the door explained, "Let's greet the other side. This is to prevent so many people from entering and creating chaos." Yang Xiaoman asked curiously, "Can we contact the people in the catacombs here?" "No, but at the entrance, there's a 9th grade great grandmaster who set up a setting. If you knock here, the people on the other side can feel the vibration." The number of knocks represents the number of people entering. None of this was a secret, so the gatekeeper didn't mind answering everyone's questions. Fong Ping was not curious about this. Instead, he asked with interest, "What does the passageway look like? Is it like the teleportation array? Wiz will be there?" "Huh, you'll know soon enough." The gatekeeper didn't explain. Soon, Scarface came out. "Go in." Tang Feng took the lead. "Follow me." Everyone followed suit. After passing through the small door, Fong Ping and the others saw the entrance to the catacombs for the first time. The so-called entrance to the catacombs was like a whirlpool in the water, suspended in mid-air. In the small space, an alloy staircase was built. The staircase was stained with blood. No one knew if it was not cleaned or if it was just stained today. There was light in the house, so it was not dark. Fong Ping raised his head and looked around. On the walls, there were some small holes. It was very likely to be a weapon launch port. Scarface followed them in. He looked at everyone and said, "You can go in now. Also, next time, don't touch anything in here without permission. It's very dangerous." After warning everyone, Scarface looked at Tang Feng. After a while, he said, "Come back safely. Don't worry." Tang Feng responded. He stepped on the staircase and walked straight into the whirlpool. The other instructors shouted, "Follow him." Everyone followed him. Fong Ping walked in front. Soon, he reached the edge of the whirlpool. He could not help but reach out and touch the whirlpool. As he touched it, half of his hand was suddenly gone. "Ah!" Fong Ping shouted. Everyone behind him suddenly tensed up. Fu Chanding shouted, "What's wrong? His hand is broken? Retreat quickly." Fong Ping retracted his hand as if nothing had happened. He muttered, "Interesting. Did his arm pass through space?" Yang Xiaoman, who was standing beside him, suddenly kicked him without saying a word. The next moment, Fong Ping disappeared into the whirlpool. "This bastard!" Yang Xiaoman cursed. He was still trying to scare people at a time like this. Everyone laughed uncontrollably and stepped into the whirlpool one after another. F***CK. Fong Ping staggered and cursed. Then, he looked up hurriedly. He did not see the so-called catacombs world. In front of him was a tunnel. The ground on both sides and above his head was not made of alloy or soil, but energy particles. Fong Ping's eyes moved slightly. He said with some shock, "An energy tunnel." He had captured energy particles before. He could feel the energy in the tunnel. He had never thought that energy particles could materialize and form a tunnel after they were gathered. When Fong Ping captured the energy particles, he captured them one by one. However, this tunnel had already solidified. This was the difference between a dust particle and a mountain. At this moment, Tang Feng and the others were in front. Hearing Fong Ping's exclamation, Tang Feng raised his eyebrows. "You can tell?" "Of course. It's just the solidification of energy particles. Such obvious energy, of course I can feel it. I don't know if I can capture it." "Don't mess around," Tang Feng warned. "Although I don't think you can destroy the tunnel. Don't use your mentality to capture energy particles here. The inside of the tunnel is sometimes unstable. Grandmasters can use their mentality to stir the energy tunnel slightly. When many grandmasters work together, they can make the tunnel riot for a short period of time. At this time, no one can travel between the two worlds. This is also the best choice humans can make when they have no other choice." Tiannan's catacombs entrance used this method. This method meant that they had given up everything in the catacombs. The next time Tiannan's tunnel entrance recovered, it would not be just a matter of danger anymore. The tunnel could be full of catacombs creatures. Once they entered, they would probably die. Without a stronghold in the catacombs, humans would be at an absolute disadvantage in the catacombs war. Tianan gave up the stronghold built with the blood of countless predecessors. It had to be said that such a decision was too painful. One could also imagine what kind of crisis Tianan faced in the past that made them choose to do this. When Tiannan's catacombs entrance opened again, perhaps the catacombs creatures would enter the surface and fight with humans. The battlefield would most likely be on Earth. Fong Ping did not use his mentality to capture it. In reality, he did not have this ability. These energy particles had solidified. This was equivalent to turning from dust into a boulder. How could Fong Ping shift them? "Instructor, since the Grandmasters can stir the energy tunnel, why don't we just keep doing this?" In Fong Ping's opinion, if they did this every time, the other party could not come, and they could not enter. At most, they would be in a state of lockdown. Was this not better than the current situation? Tang Feng explained, "It won't work. In reality, the tunnel is becoming more and more stable. Those tunnels in Shishan can't be stirred at all. The energy in the tunnel has solidified. As time passed, it has become fixed. Tianan can only do this because the tunnel was formed not too long ago. Magic City's tunnel was formed not too long ago. In the past, one or two grandmasters might be able to stir the tunnel into chaos. Now, without more than 10 grandmasters, it's impossible. If that's the case, then we can only choose to defend against the enemy. We don't want the battlefield to be on Earth. That would be a huge blow to us. Once the battlefield became Earth, humans would only suffer heavy losses if they could not kill the other party. Fong Ping understood. He sighed. The catacombs tunnel is sealed. Those who did not come out, they can't come back. Oh! Fong Ping quietened down. He remembered that old Wang's instructor was trapped in Tiannan's catacombs. Zhao Shumei's father also died in the catacombs. His corpse could not be brought back. Now that the entrance to Tiannan's catacombs was sealed, his corpse might not be found anymore. As for humans who were trapped in the catacombs, how could they survive? There was no stronghold over there. Facing the catacombs army, other than death, what else could they do? While they were talking, the others entered one after another. Seeing the tunnel in front of them, everyone's curiosity was aroused. They touched it and looked around like curious babies. Yu Xianghua touched it and asked curiously, "Instructor, is this tunnel long?" "Not long. Walk forward for about 1,000 meters and you'll reach the entrance on the other side." "Instructor, does that mean that our two worlds are adjacent?" "It's just that this tunnel is connecting them now." Tang Feng was speechless. "I don't know. Don't ask me such a profound question." Even grandmasters and experts from all over the world could not explain it clearly. How would he know? It's just a tunnel. Why are there so many questions? Let's go. Stop looking. Tang Feng walked forward. Fong Ping asked, "Teacher, why is this passageway lit up?" "I don't know." "You don't know either?" Fong Ping was speechless. After thinking for a while, he explained to himself, "It should be caused by the solidification of energy." "Yes, I remember now. Energy ores are also a manifestation of energy accumulation. Energy ores with high purity are also very bright. The tunnel can be said to have 100% energy purity. That's why it's so bright." Fong Ping thought diversely. "The catacombs don't have a sun." "No, I should say that the catacomb sun is a solid high-purity energy ore. No wonder it can light up the catacombs. Then why does the catacombs have night? Energy ores shouldn't be like this. Or the catacombs' energy sun actually has two sides. One is energy, and the other is other matter. It's in a state of rotation, which causes night and day." Tang Feng did not say a word. The rank 5 instructor laughed and said, "Fong Ping, you haven't even seen the catacombs yet, and you've already made such a judgment. That's very impressive. The experts have also guessed so. Of course, because there's no actual proof, we can't confirm its authenticity for now. However, your judgment should be close to the truth." Fong Ping laughed and said, "Instructor Zheng, I think I'm very smart too. Do you think MCMU will become stronger if I take charge?" Everyone fell silent. Tang Feng still did not say a word. The middle-aged man who was addressed as Instructor Zheng did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said, "You're thinking a little too far ahead." "Instructor, I think it's not too far away. I'm upper stage rank 3 now. Maybe I'll be rank 4 soon. Next year, rank 5 or 6. The year after that, I'll be a grandmaster." Silence. Tang Feng could not help but scold him. "You bastard. After hearing you say that, I feel like grandmasters are everywhere. Tang Feng, haven't even become a grandmaster." Fong Ping curled his lips. He secretly calculated for a while. "Is there any chance of becoming a grandmaster the year after? If there's a chance, remember to beat up Big Line the year after that." The other instructors could not help but laugh. The students were also speechless. Fong Ping was really thinking too far ahead. Some people in the class had only just found out that Fong Ping had reached upper stage rank 3. Their expressions kept changing. This guy, his breakthrough was too fast. Zhang Zue had a bad feeling about this. Could CLA really suppress Fong Ping? If Fong Ping left the catacombs, CLA would definitely fight him. There were many reasons for this. The conflict of interest between the Martial Arts Society and the Ping Yuan Club, the fight between thrice-honed martial artists, the grudge of Fong Ping beating up Zhang Ziwei, and the fight for the future leader of MCMU students. It could be said that even if they did not want to fight, the school would let them. Now, Fong Ping had actually stepped into upper stage rank 3. This speed was too fast. The difference between upper stage and peak rank 3 was not too big. Below upper stage was the real dividing line. A distance of 1,000 meters was very short for martial artists. Soon, everyone reached the end of the passageway. At the end, there were also people waiting. They were soldiers, seeing Tang Feng and the others. One of the middle-aged, elegant martial artists with a dignified appearance and a majestic aura said with a smile, "Mad Lion, you're personally leading the team this time?" "General Su." Tang Feng showed slight respect, a rare smile on his face. He replied, "I've troubled you this time." "What are you talking about?" The military department also has the greatest respect for MCMAU students. All these years, if it weren't for you, Magic City's catacombs would have fallen long ago. General Su said with a smile, "We'll talk outside. Here, sometimes I'm really worried that the passageway will collapse, but I can't wait for it to happen. My feelings are complicated, so I won't chat here." If the passageway collapsed, perhaps this battle that sacrificed countless people would not have to be fought anymore. As he spoke, General Su stepped out of the passageway and disappeared from everyone's sight. Fong Ping looked back and said suddenly, "The passageway between the two worlds is so close. If they really hit the passageway, we won't be able to stop them," Tang Feng said calmly. "That's why, in order to protect the passageway, the land in front has long been dyed red by the blood of generations." Everyone was speechless, lost for words. Dozens of seconds later, when Fong Ping stepped out of the vortex and entered another alloy house. The house was not big. Everyone hurried out. The moment they walked out, Fong Ping and the others were a little dazed. No one looked at the buildings, the hurrying soldiers, the passing martial artists. Everyone raised their heads and looked at the huge sun in the sky. Very big, very big. Unlike Earth, Earth's sun was also very big. After all, it was a star much bigger than Earth. However, in everyone's eyes, no matter how big it was, it still seemed small because of the distance. However, the sun of the catacombs seemed to be hanging above everyone's head, looking especially huge. So big, so ugly. The girls added, "Such a big sun. No matter how they looked at it, it was ugly and uncoordinated." In front, General Su and Tang Feng stood side by side. Looking at the students looking up at the sky, General Su chuckled. "They're all children," Tang Feng said gloomily. "They're also martial artists." "Martial artists," General Su murmured, sighed softly, and said inaudibly, "Try to let them go back alive." "We will. This is just a trial." There are no trials in the catacombs. Chapter 235. Hope City. This was the name of the stronghold. Everyone called this place Hope City, the hope of mankind, the hope of martial artists, and everyone else. Hope City was right under Fong Ping's feet. This was a small city paved with blood, or rather a military town. It was more than 5,000 meters long, 4,000 meters wide, more than 20 million square meters, and more than 20 square kilometers. In reality, it was about the same size as Magic City Martial Arts University. There were more than 50,000 soldiers stationed here. During wartime, external forces would be stationed, more than 100,000 people, and a portion of them would be stationed outside the small city. Military camps were built in front and on the sides of Hope City, and there were also some troops stationed there. Hope City's main gate faced north. If one walked straight from the north gate without making any detours, Skygate City would be 80 kilometers away. Humans' military camps were limited to a radius of 10 kilometers. Sometimes, they would periodically sweep the catacombs humans and creatures within 30 kilometers. After 30 kilometers, they would be in Skygate City's territory. Inside the small city, the layout was simple, and so were the buildings. As a military town, everything was in the service of war. There were no skyscrapers, only houses made of huge stones or metal. They were all low-rise buildings, the tallest of which would not exceed 3 stories. The military was stationed in the northern part of the city, which was directly facing Skygate City. The other 3 sides also had military camps, but not as many as the northern part. After martial artists entered, they were arranged to be in the center of the city, which was divided into a few small areas. At this moment, it had been an hour since Fong Ping and the others entered the catacombs. Everyone gathered in a large, empty conference room that looked like an abandoned factory. Calling it a conference room was an exaggeration. Fong Ping felt a little helpless. It would not be too troublesome to bring in some tables and chairs from the outside world, would it? Why did he have to stand? Why bother? Yes, everyone could only stand. Of course, if you sat on the ground, no one would stop you. Welcome, students. General Su, full name Su Mafu, was the highest-ranking person in charge of Magic City Catacombs Military Department, a peak rank 6 martial artist. In reality, there were grandmasters in Magic City Catacombs, but daily military department affairs, including martial artists arrangements and planning, were all handled by Su Mafu. This time, MCMAU had 100 student martial artists, which was also a big deal for Hope City. In Hope City, there were more than 50,000 military forces, including a military force of close to 5,000 martial artists, mostly rank 1. As for the warriors from the outside world, under normal circumstances, there would not be more than 3,000 people. Martial artists also needed to rest when it was not a great battle. There were no more than 8,000 martial artists in Hope City on a daily basis. Compared to Skygate City, the gap was not small. The opponent had 200,000 standing troops and close to 20,000 martial artists, not including the casual martial artists in Skygate City. Apart from the military department, only martial arts universities could gather a team of 100 martial artists. It would be difficult even for the local Department of Investigation Services. Rank 2 martial artists were not considered too weak. At the very least, they were stronger than some of the military department's martial artists. Of course, if they really encountered them, these rank 2 martial artists who entered the catacombs for the first time might not be a match for the military department's rank 1 martial artists. Su Mafu welcomed them, then said apologetically, "The conditions are simple and crude, and we are all martial artists, so we can skip the formalities. We only have one goal in Hope City." Su Mafu's voice deepened as he shouted, "Kill the enemy. 80 kilometers away from us is Skygate City." Every year, Skygate City would launch a military attack on Hope City. At most, it would be more than 10 times, at least 3 to 5 times. Every time, it would be a bloody battle. In addition, the catacombs humans in Skygate City are not part of the military system. These people would also attack Hope City and slaughter countless people. We are powerless to attack Skygate City, so we can only choose to defend. However, we will not sit and wait for death. We will let the scattered small troops and martial artist teams fight in the wild. 10 kilometers away from Hope City, you may encounter catacombs martial artists at any time. Small troops of the catacombs killing each other is the norm in the catacombs. Here, if you don't kill them, they will kill you. Once the other party's scattered troops and martial artists attack our line of defense, Skygate City will see the opportunity. Very soon, a large army will attack and a great war will break out. Since the end of last year until now, in the past half a year, the speed of Skygate City's war has been increasing. Both sides have already fought 6 times and countless small battles. Previously, the other party even had powerhouses rush into Hope City, break through the line of defense, and kill their way into the passageway entrance. Once these powerhouses rush out of the passageway, enter Earth, and enter Magic City, it will be a terrible disaster for mankind. Magic City is the most prosperous city in Sino Nation, with a population of tens of millions. When high-rank powerhouses rush into the ground, we can't use powerful weapons of mass destruction to kill the other party. We can only let powerhouses fight, but it will also cause countless deaths and injuries. Therefore, cleaning up the other party's martial artists, including the troops, is our top priority. If a large number of people are mobilized, it means that a great war will break out. Actually, we don't want a large-scale war to break out. After all, there is a gap between our strength and the other parties. Using small teams of martial artists as a sharp knife to kill the catacombs martial artists is what we have been doing for so many years. Therefore, martial artists are extremely important to the catacombs. The martial arts university martial artists are strong, and they are a stimulant for us to win in a great war. Killing a middle-rank martial artist from the other party is more inspiring than winning a great war. Su Mafu spoke for a while and finally said, "This time, when you enter the catacombs, your top priority is to familiarize yourself with the terrain and the environment. The military department will not assign any missions to you. But in the catacombs, when there is a great war, the martial artists in the city must obey the transfer orders. In the catacombs, other than killing the enemy, the other point is to explore. Exploring unknown areas, finding some useful materials, crafting weapons, crafting pills. This is also a contribution to mankind. However, I do not recommend that everyone explore the unknown areas now. If you are not middle-ranked, the unknown areas are extremely dangerous. Other than Skygate City in the north, there are other catacomb cities on both sides of Hope City. The military department does not wish to have a large-scale conflict with other cities now. Therefore, you can attack the villages outside the city, but without permission, you are not allowed to attack other cities." At this point, Tang Feng added, "Sometimes everyone hates the catacombs humans. This is understandable, but if you attack other cities rashly, if the catacomb cities come to a consensus and surround us, then Hope City will be in real danger. Don't lose sight of the bigger picture because of a small gain and cause irreparable losses. Instructor, if we meet people from other cities in the wild, kill them," Tang Feng said calmly. "We do not attack them for the sake of the big picture, but if we meet them in the wild, then we kill them. Moreover, it is difficult to tell where these martial artists are from. If we meet the catacombs humans in the wild, there is only one word for us: kill." As he said that, Tang Feng continued, "This time, a team of 100 people will be too conspicuous. For the first 3 days, we will familiarize ourselves with the terrain and environment of Hope City and the surrounding 10 kilometers. We will know the military department's strongholds and martial artist supply points within 10 kilometers. At this time, our safety is guaranteed." After 3 days, I will bring everyone out of Hope City's radiation range and explore within 30 kilometers. This will last for a week. After 10 days, everyone will be free to do whatever you want. Whether it is participating in the battle in the wild, exploring the surrounding areas, or even exploring unknown areas, I will not stop you. Even participating in the military department's cooperative battle is fine. The duration is still 10 days. After 20 days, we will leave the catacombs. Everyone understood and also knew the next arrangements. Fong Ping did not care about this. He asked hurriedly, "Instructor, does everything we get from the catacombs belong to us?" "Of course. Is there an energy mine nearby?" Tang Feng was stunned for a moment. Su Mafu could not help but laugh, chuckling. "Yes, 70 kilometers north from here, there is a small energy mine. Although it is a small one, the number of source stones is probably no less than 1,000 kilograms. In terms of purity, it is not too low." Fong Ping calculated silently. The value of energy stones was calculated by the gram. 1,000 kilograms. That would be 1 million grams. Even the purest energy stone was worth 1 million credits. Of course, Fong Ping was not stupid. After some thought, he suddenly said, 70 kilometers north? Isn't that about 10 kilometers away from Skygate City? Yes, and there are 5 Skygate City high-ranked martial artists guarding there. The corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched. How many? 5 high-ranked martial artists? He remembered Old Man Li saying that there were currently 14 known high-ranked powerhouses in Skygate City. This energy mine actually had 5 of them. If that was the case, he should just take a detour. Moreover, it was too close to the city. 10 kilometers. Almost all high-ranked powerhouses could use flight step. In the blink of an eye, you might be surrounded by 14 high-ranked martial artists, including the rank 9 Sky Gate City Castellan. Even if Commander Lee from the military department came, he might not be able to successfully rob the other party. Su Mafu saw that he was silent and laughed again. Actually, it's probably a trap. The energy mine has long been mined. The other party is baiting us. When we first discovered that there were 5 high-ranked martial artists guarding there, it was also an accident. Otherwise, we might really let the Grandmasters ambush us. That's why, don't underestimate the Catacombs martial artists. Grandmasters were very mobile. If they ambushed them, there was still hope that they could mine a batch of energy stones and escape before Skygate City could react. However, the other party was not stupid. They had probably predicted that humans would be interested in the energy stones and deliberately set up a bait. Are there any other places? I don't know. Su Mafu laughed. Tang Feng was speechless. If the military department found out, they would have mined it themselves long ago. Would it even be your turn? Unless you find out for yourself, don't even think about it. Also, let me remind you, if you really find out, run away as soon as possible. Why? Tang Feng saw that he was looking at him suspiciously and said impatiently, "The energy mine is a place where energy is concentrated. If you cultivate there, your speed will be amazing. Most of the unknown energy mines are occupied by powerful beasts. Why? Are you suspecting that I'll steal your credit?" Tang Feng wanted to beat this guy up. What kind of look was that? I'm telling you not to look for trouble. Understand? Fong Ping coughed dryly and nodded. It's indeed faster. When I entered the catacombs, I realized that my vitality is much more active. I couldn't completely separate it from my body before, but now I can. As he said this, Fong Ping purposely released a burst of vitality, condensing a blood-red glow in his hand. Su Mafu frowned slightly, then smiled and reminded him, "Student, in the catacombs, every cal of vitality must be used sparingly. At critical moments, it can increase your chances of survival. Don't waste your vitality." Fong Ping followed the advice and nodded quickly. If Big Lion had said this, Fong Ping would have told him that he did not lack anything except vitality. Su Mafu coming out to greet everyone was also a way for the military department to express their importance. In reality, he was very busy. Soon, Su Mafu left. As soon as he left, Tang Feng said, "Everyone can walk around Hope City today. There are some good places here. Some are shops opened by martial artists, some are branches opened by some organizations." Fu Changding was surprised. "Branches here? It's very profitable." Tang Feng was a little envious. He explained, "Some martial artists stay in the catacombs for a long time. They don't want to return to the surface. So some of the creatures they hunt, including the spoils from hunting martial artists, will be sold in the catacombs in exchange for resources they need. Companies set up branches here mainly to serve these people. There's a lot of buying and selling." Fong Ping complained, "It's only about 1,000 meters away. They can just go out and sell it. From the city to the surface entrance, they only needed to go through the passageway." Tang Feng glanced at him and said, "Do you think anyone can go in and out of the passageway? You need to apply every time, and that includes waiting." "Waiting?" "That's right. It's easier for martial artists from martial arts universities. 2 people can leave. Casual martial artists can only enter if they gather 10 people. Why? They're worried that someone will destroy the energy passageway." Tang Feng's expression was dark. Evil sect martial artists have done this before. They wanted to stir up an energy riot in the passageway and cut off the connection between the 2 sides. They wanted to completely destroy the human lives in the catacombs. F***CK. That's vicious. Fong Ping cursed. He then asked, "It didn't work, right?" "No. The other party underestimated the stability of the energy passageway. The one who came was not a high rank, but a middle rank. He was discovered and killed in the end. However, the military department is also worried that accidents will happen, so they will be slightly stricter with the examination of casual martial artists." Understood? Between the questions and answers, everyone had also figured out some of the rules of the catacombs. Tang Feng announced the end of the meeting. Everyone immediately became lively. 10 minutes later, Fong Ping and the freshman walked out to the streets together. There's a hotel too. Fu Chanling's face was full of surprise. He pointed at a two-story building not far away and said, Jinjiang Hotel. Even a chain store has opened here. Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat. He mumbled, there's a hotel. The delivery service must be good. Look, that's a branch of the pill company. They stole my business. What a pity. A bicycle service center? Fong Ping mumbled again. Share bicycles? No, it's a modern horse carriage company. This business has also been stolen. There's a barbershop here too? There's no beauty shop. Business should be bad. They wandered around for more than half an hour. They had explored more than half of the small Hope City. At this time, everyone realized a serious problem. Fu Chanling rubbed his stomach and said dryly, Where do we eat? Everyone looked at each other. He did not say. How about we eat at a hotel? This was Yang Xiaoman's suggestion. Fong Ping said dryly, I didn't bring any money. Who's treating? Everyone went into the catacombs. Who would bring money? Chun Yunxi said softly, I'll treat. Let's go to a hotel. Fong Ping was instantly energized. He also wanted to see what good food there was in the catacombs. He also wanted to see if the delivery service here would work. Distance had to expand its business. As for other things, he would think about it when the time came. Anyway, everyone's mission for the next few days was to familiarize themselves with the environment. Fong Ping was not in a hurry. He could also practice his combat techniques. If he went out to explore the area or do missions without familiarizing himself with the place, that would be suicide. Chapter 236. Hotel. Although it was called a big hotel, it could not be compared to the outside. However, compared to the place where everyone had their previous meeting, the hotel's environment was much better. At least, there were no lack of tables and chairs, and they were all modern ones. The interior was also renovated. Naturally, it was not as good as the stars, but it was much better than the average roadside stall. Inside the hotel, there was no luxurious lighting equipment. Instead, there were round man-made crystals inlaid in the surroundings, giving people a sense of brightness and not feeling cramped. As soon as Fong Ping and the others entered, someone greeted them warmly. Sir, madam, the private room upstairs, please. Fong Ping and the others followed them upstairs in a daze. In the private room on the second floor, Fong Ping felt a sense of familiarity when he saw the glass window. However, when he picked up the menu, Fong Ping glanced at it and suddenly threw the menu to Chun Yunxi, saying, You order. It's your treat. Chun Yunxi took the menu and glanced at it. Her face flushed immediately. Seeing that, the corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched slightly. So, even a lady like you is scared? Without further ado, Fong Ping stood up and said, Come, let's go back and eat. The female martial artist who had just brought them upstairs frowned slightly, but quickly smiled and said, It's your first time here, so you probably don't know the situation here. In the catacombs, food is a luxury. Here, you can't use fire or electricity. Preparing cooked food requires energy stones to activate energy cooking. As for energy stones, even the worst ones are not cheap. I'm sure you all know this. Also, bringing large amounts of daily necessities here is actually very difficult to pass the military department's review. The military department does not approve of excessive enjoyment in the catacombs. When you came in, other than some military biscuits and pills, I think everything else has been detained, right? Therefore, if you want to eat something good here, you have to find it in the wild. Also, the animals and plants in the catacombs have a certain amount of energy in their bodies because they are exposed to the large energy stone sun all year round. Fong Ping waited for her to speak for a while, then interrupted. So the food is extremely expensive. Fong Ping was speechless. It was not extremely expensive, it was extremely expensive. They did not accept credit cards to eat here. They could not. However, they accepted cash, pills, and energy stones. Fong Ping skimmed through the list. It was mainly calculated by pills, with vitality pills as the main ingredient. A dish usually required 3 to 5 normal vitality pills. Fong Ping and the others ate to their heart's content. A single meal would cost at least 30 to 50 normal vitality pills. No matter how rich Qin Yunxi was, it was impossible for her to bring too many pills into the catacombs. Moreover, pills were used to save lives. Without another word, Fang Ping got up and walked out. The others were a little embarrassed, but Qin Yunxi was even more so. Her face was so red that it was scary. How embarrassing! He said that he would treat them to a meal, but they were all scared away by the price. Outside, even if a meal really cost millions, she could still afford it. But who would bring cash in here? He had a limited amount of pills on him. He couldn't possibly spend all of them just for a meal, right? Fang Ping walked out casually, while the others ran for their lives. The female martial artist who received them felt slightly regretful, but she didn't say anything. Of course, she didn't dare to say anything. The martial artists who entered the catacombs came in pairs. They were so young that almost all of them were martial arts university students. Martial arts universities, whether in the catacombs or in the outside world, were big shots. The number of martial artists in martial arts universities, including their graduates, was much more than the military department. Countless big shots had graduated from martial arts universities. The consequences of finding trouble with martial arts university students for trivial matters were unpredictable. After leaving the hotel, Qin Yunxi said awkwardly, Actually, we can have a meal. Fang Ping pursed his lips. Forget it. We haven't earned any money yet. That's not in line with our original intentions. If we really earn a lot of money, we'll have a meal. For now, we'll just go back and eat our rations. As they walked back, Fang Ping looked around. From time to time, he saw small teams of soldiers patrolling the streets. At this moment, the north gate not far from them suddenly opened. Very quickly, Fang Ping and the others heard someone discussing, Is that Yao Qingjun? It's him. So what if he's back? It's quite a scene. The few people strolling by the road were also very young. They were probably from martial arts universities. As for whether they were from MCMU or other martial arts universities, Fang Ping and the others could not tell. Fang Ping and the others did not think much of it. As they were about to leave, a sudden shout came from the north gate. Victory! Victory! The orderly and powerful shouts came from the soldiers and martial artists who were stationed at the top of the city wall. Very quickly, the news from the north gate came like a whirlwind. Commander Yao has killed countless enemies during his trip this time. He has killed a rank 5 powerhouse and 5 rank 4 powerhouses. He has killed a small team of Sky Gate City Scouts. Commander Yao has gone on a few missions recently and has killed many of them. He deserves his reputation as the number one of the younger generation. Someone was not convinced. That's because a few rank 5 powerhouses from our martial arts university have graduated and gone to that place. You said it yourself. If they graduate, then they're not considered people from martial arts universities anymore. Besides, Yao Qingjun has just achieved peak rank 4. No one from martial arts universities can beat him in rank 4, right? Humph! CCMU's Li Hansong, NMU's Wang Jinyang, MCMU's Chun Wenlong, SNMU's Lu Shiji. None of them are weaker than him. Next to him, Fang Ping seemed to have thought of something. He turned his head to look at the others and said, Yao Qingjun, when we entered the special training class, he was first on the ranking list of the 3 lower ranks, right? At that time, to prepare for the championship, they had participated in the special training class. The school had given them a ranking list. Fang Ping remembered that Wang Jinyang was ranked 27th at that time. Yao Qingjun seemed to be the number 1 person in the 3 lower ranks at that time. That was the ranking list of the 3 lower ranks in the entire Sino nation. The others had heard about it too. MCMU's Chen Wenlong was ranked 16th at that time, slightly higher than Wang Jinyang. CCMU's Li Hansong seemed to be ranked even higher than Chen Wenlong. That ranking list was seen not long after school started. Now it had been almost a year since then. At that time, those people were all peak rank 3 martial artists. Moreover, they were a group of extremely strong peak rank 3 martial artists. Wang Jinyang's saber challenged the North, but he was only ranked 27th. It was clear that the ranking list was very valuable. Now, from what the others were saying, Yao Qingjun had already achieved peak rank 4. This speed was extremely fast. Wang Jinyang, whose bone marrow had turned jade-like, seemed to have only achieved upper stage rank 4. He might not even have achieved upper stage yet. As for that Li Hansong, he had heard from CEO Jiang of the new martial fund that he was an upper stage rank for martial artist. Zhao Lei nodded slightly. It's him. I didn't expect him to be a lieutenant in the military department. I know him. You know him? I've had dealings with him before. He was my senior in high school. He was 2 grades higher than me. I was a freshman and he was a senior. At that time, he was an influential figure in our school. When I entered the school, he had already become a martial artist. During the Gaokao, he should have achieved middle stage rank 1 or even upper stage. However, I heard that he didn't go to a martial arts university. Instead, he went to the military school. The military school? Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. He had some idea about this, but he did not know much about it. After thinking for a while, he said, I heard that the military department selects young people internally and sends them to the military school to be groomed together with the young soldiers of the army. Is this true? Zhao Lei was surprised. Shouldn't it be? There are so many martial artists in the military department. There must be some outstanding ones who are groomed as generals. It makes sense for them to enter the military school. There aren't many military schools in the military department, and they don't recruit students from the outside. I think there are only 3 military schools. Yao Qingjuan's father is a general in the military department. He's also a rank 6 martial artist, so it's not strange for him to enter the military school. Then why didn't Gu Xiong enter the military school? Zhao Lei said lightly, everyone has their own choices. There's no need to enter the military school, right? Moreover, entering the military school also means that after graduation, they must enter the military department to serve. Some people don't like to be restricted. So, Yao Qingjun is now the number 1 in the 3 big military schools? I don't know. The rank for ranking list hasn't been released recently. We haven't seen it either. Zhao Lei shook his head. These rankings had not been officially released yet. Currently, only the Grandmaster ranking of some Grandmasters and the lower 3 ranks of martial arts university students had been released. Fong Ping did not ask further. He turned his head and glanced at the north gate. At that moment, at the north gate, a soldier dressed in camouflage clothes was striding forward with a long spear in his hand. There were a few soldiers behind him, all carrying parcels in their hands. The bloodstains on their bodies could be seen from afar. The military schools team? Fong Ping muttered. Then he mumbled, they're all lieutenants now? A lieutenant in the military department was equivalent to a local commander. Back then, Zhang Dingnan had promised that after Fong Ping graduated and returned to Nanjiang, he would give him a lieutenant position. According to Zhao Lei, Yao Qingjun was only 2 grades higher than them. He did not know how many years the military school had, but it was probably not time for him to graduate yet. He was a lieutenant now. What about after he graduated? Peak rank 4, Fong Ping mumbled. His progress was fast. It had not been that long, right? This was the first time he realized that someone was faster than old Wang. Back then, they were both on the rank 3 ranking list. Their abilities should be at peak rank 3. However, old Wang was 1 grade lower than Yao Qingjun. It was acceptable that he was slightly weaker. As for Yao Qingjun, Fong Ping did not think too much about it. He did not go and watch. In the catacombs, rank 4 and 5 powerhouses were not worth much. Many powerhouses here were at rank 6. He heard that there were even a few grandmasters. They just did not show up usually. When he returned to the community, the others also came back one after another. Although it was called a community, in fact, in Fong Ping's opinion, it was worse than some company dormitories. This was a large shared bed, 10 people to a room. After returning, Fong Ping and the others found out that there was a canteen in the community that provided free food. Just as Fong Ping and the others were about to go, Yu Xianghua, who was looking at the map, said, "Don't go. Just eat some biscuits to fill your stomach. The food in the canteen is half-cooked. It's uncomfortable." So stingy? It's good enough that there's food. Yu Xianghua shook his head. The military department's food is even worse. It's not that they don't want to give them good food. It's just that it's really not easy to cook in the catacombs. Then why don't they ship it in from the surface? Fong Ping was slightly surprised. Nonsense. There are too many people. There are 60 to 70,000 people in the city. Do you expect them to ship it in from the surface? Moreover, the catacombs passageway is not open. The military department rarely uses the passageway. If there are too many people coming and going, it's easy to get into trouble. The military department had their considerations. Although the passageway could be opened, there were too many people coming and going. Who knew if there would be trouble? Food for tens of thousands of people was not a small amount. If it was transported from the surface, they would have to make a few trips every day. They could not be too understaffed. Although Fong Ping could not understand, he gave up on the idea of going to the canteen to eat. When night fell, the sky in the catacombs turned dark. During the day, the huge sun in the sky seemed to have disappeared suddenly. The night in the catacombs was pitch black. There were no lights and no candles. Hope City was not completely dark. There was light at the north gate. The military department used energy ores and mirrors, using a small amount of energy to maintain the brightness. In the city, some shops had also used this method. Previously, there were people who used things like fluorescent powder to replace energy ores as a light source. In the end, these things lost their source of light and radiation in the catacombs and quickly lost their effectiveness. The effect was not as good as energy ores, but the cost was not small. Inside the room, it was pitch black. Fong Ping and a few boys shared a room. In the dark, Fong Ping could vaguely see some things. He said helplessly, "If we were outside at night, wouldn't we not be able to tell north from south? You'll get used to it. Say, in this pitch black, if we go to the girls' side, do you think they'll recognize us? You can try. Almost all rank for martial artists have night vision. If you're not afraid of death, you can go." One kick to the groin. "Don't say we didn't warn you. I'm not used to it." Fong Ping sighed. There was nothing in the catacombs. On the surface, he could surf the internet, play with his phone, or watch TV in his spare time. Here, in the middle of the night, there was really nothing to do. I can only cultivate now. It was not suitable to cultivate combat techniques at night, so Fong Ping began to hone his body. From upper stage to peak rank 3, it was actually a process of honing the body. Fong Ping had thought it through. He would hone his body first. When he reached peak rank 3, if his vitality still did not exceed 1,000 calories, he would forcefully increase it. If his body was strong enough, there should not be too much trouble. Just as everyone began to cultivate, a sudden noise came from the north. Enemy attack. Middle-ranked martial artists gather at the north gate and face the enemy. Those below rank 4, stay in the house. Don't go out without permission. A loud roar spread throughout the small town. Fong Ping and the others were shocked and hurriedly stopped. Someone wanted to go out, but Yu Xianghua stopped him immediately. "You can't go out. If it's a night attack, we won't be able to see the enemy clearly. We'll only add to the chaos and will be easily killed by mistake." At this time, powerhouses had already forbidden martial artists from going out. If they were killed by mistake, they would have no place to complain. Boom! In the north, the sound of explosions was incessant. Fong Ping and the others were burning with anxiety. At this moment, no one dared to go out. They did not know what the situation was like, so they could only worry and wait in the house. This kind of torment was worse than letting them go out to kill the enemy. Is the enemy strong? Are there any high-rank powerhouses? Can General Su and the others handle it? Instructor Tang and the others should have gone to support, right? Everyone could only keep talking to divert their thoughts. It was not until more than half an hour had passed that the sound of explosions subsided. Stand down. The enemy has retreated. Don't go out without permission at night. That you're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.